big weekend and big moments from the first rounds in Las Vegas set the tone for the season. It was an all-out battle for the checkers on a brutal track where drivers put it all on the line. Statements were made and lessons learned, but there's no rest for the weary. TORC is back with more intense action from North Carolina at the famed dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the site of some epic battles over the years, creating intense rivalries and unforgettable crashes. When night falls and the temperatures cool, the racing heats up. It's time for the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte. Welcome to the nation's premier off-road racing series, TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by Amcor.
Welcome, everybody. We're here at beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Myself, Scott Rain, along with Robbie Floyd and Taylor Snyder will be trackside all night long, providing up-to-date information on what's going on with the drivers, the track, the trucks, and talk about a beautiful track, fantastic facility, and the guys are amped up to get racing tonight, Robbie.
Right, they called it the Showdown in Charlotte here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For those of you watching around the world at TORCseries.com, we're a few hundred yards from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're at the dirt track. To our left is the drag strip. So a lot of facilities here as we're looking in the shadows of the dirt track. It looks like a half-mile oval.
It's I'd say a half-mile oval on the outside along the wall, but some historic racing's done here, not only with off-road but with World of Outlaws, dirt track late models. But it was just a few years ago that what set the tone. I want to say it was 2012. The race here set the tone for the entire summer, and fantastic racing, and it just swept all the way through the season all summer long. And we're kind of looking forward to that same kind of thing here. Track is very similar to what they had in 2012, so we're going to see if the guys can really put it on the track the way they did back then.
So far today we've had practice, we've had qualifying, and now it's down to the nitty-gritty. This is where the business takes place. These drivers are going for points, they're going for cash and the prestige to win here in Charlotte. We have points leaders coming into this round. Who will be the points leader coming out of this round 3 and another night tomorrow for round number 4?
In fact, it sounds like Taylor's already at work getting us some information. Let's turn over to Taylor Snyder, someplace on the track. Taylor, where are you?
This race weekend will definitely be different from some of the others. Why, you ask? These guys are racing under the lights. Now, I talked to some of the drivers earlier, and they said it would be a little bit difficult coming out of that right-hand turn because of those infield lights blinding them coming out. Now, some wrecks in the past at this track have said to be attributed to those shadows those lights are casting. Will it be an issue this race? Well, we're going to find out. But I can assure you it will make for some very interesting racing.
Well, thanks a lot, Taylor. And we should bring the note first and foremost that the headlights you see on these race trucks when they come out on trackside are stickers. They're not real headlights.
Right.
They don't work. So it's going to be interesting, just like you said. I mean, you see the Musco lights in the infield. Those are actually set up for dirt track racing on the oval, not set up for off-road. So they haven't been able to go out there and kind of readjust them. I really don't know if they can to illuminate this track correctly. You see the whole inside banking in the infield.
Look on the outside.
Yeah,
so,
outside lights, yeah, it would be okay. It's the inside that particularly probably in that tight right-hand corner, right there, you can see it on the screen right now. They're aimed at the oval, not aimed at the infield. So the guys got to be prepared. It's a night race, but yet will they be wearing smoke lenses on their helmets? Kind of interesting what they're going to be doing to kind of take care of that.
Well, John Campbell, it's his job. Night lights, I think, by BB. I think it's the contractor that has the outside stuff here. But as a driver, you hate looking straight into, like, especially a fast turn where you can't see that wall coming up. If you look at the track, look which way the shadow is coming down this front straightaway. Where would you have to deal with the sun right now? Because late in the afternoon, you have to deal with that. That's not a problem, except for where? Our second turn, making the left, and we probably won't even have it coming into our last turn. So first and foremost is the sunlight. That's the worst light of all. So then when you get in that transition period, yeah, the smoke lens might be a factor, but I think the biggest factor, as we saw in Prim, will be the track and the other competitors. I don't think light will be an issue tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. The lighting, the sun will not be a problem because the guys they'll be so focused they won't even think about that. They'll be worrying about the competitors and their own truck and themselves. In fact, we got things underway here. Still got a little bit more to go. We'll be back just in just a moment for opening ceremony. Stick around. We'll be right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is the Husqvarna Showdown here at Charlotte.
We had these torrential downpours, and these trucks are not designed to have another 2,000 pounds of mud put on them. And then you pack the radiators tight. The tranny gauge, the water gauge, the oil gauge, everything's pegged. The Amsoil product came through for us and kept the rear end, the transmission, and the engine all running fine. And I tell you what, we were ready to go for the next day and pretty proud of it.
Traxxas, the fastest name in radio control.
Well, once again, welcome back here to Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't think of a better place I want to be. I actually look forward, as soon as I saw this on the schedule, I was looking forward to coming back here because we took a year off. We had a great crowd here in 2012. I'm anxious to get those same people back here in 2014. We're going to see what we have. But, you know, I had a chance to, both of us had a chance to walk around some of the NASCAR shops. We were at Roush Yates this morning, and those guys in the shop were excited about coming here tonight to see something different.
Yeah, they said they had been here before and thought it was great, and not just for them, but, you know, they've got little groms, little kids, little boys and girls that like to come out here to the race and want to let everybody else know, not only around the world, but the fans that are here in the stands that aren't watching it online, that it is a two-day event. This is round 3 today. We will have round 4 tomorrow, both points-paying events, a full schedule tomorrow as well. But, yeah, you said we took 1 year off, and we're ready to get things fired up here for 2014 in a big way in Charlotte.
Yeah, we're going to start off tonight with Pro Light. Obviously, 22 trucks are here once again. And talk about a wild race at Prim we had just a few weeks ago, and it's going to carry over. Some brand-new sponsors have jumped on board with some of these guys. They've done their homework. I think some of the rookies got the bugs out of the closet, so to speak, and they kind of got the jitters out of them, but now they're ready. We got a whole different track than what we had at Prim. Prim was a little bit more wide open, a little bit more high speed. This is almost like a Bristol kind of setup for off-road racing. Real tight, a little bit of, I say, a high-speed area, but very, very technical. It goes from a rhythm section into doubles, into a corner, into a long straightaway, into another turn. I mean, you're always doing something. You can never have a moment to try to relax a little bit.
The one thing with the TORC, the Off-Road Championship, is we have multiple classes. We start things off with the Pro Light competition. Now, it's our lowest of classes as far as horsepower and maybe the dollars invested in those trucks, but that doesn't mean they're slow by any means. Let's take a look at them.
Yeah, not at all. And there's our pace truck as we take a look at some racing action from a few weeks ago in Prim, Nevada at the Prim Valley Off-Road Raceway.
We started off in Pro Lights. C.J. Greaves, talking about getting the whole shot and really leaving the field. He got a good start, qualified on top, and really nobody challenged him in that first main event of the season.
The kid is probably about 10 years, maybe 15 years beyond his talent of his age. I mean, the kid really, he jumped into this race truck just a few years ago and has been winning from day one. In fact, I believe he won his first ever Pro 2 race he ever entered. And right now, once again, on the first day, round 1, took the win in Pro Light. Now on Sunday, round 2, it was a whole different story.
Yeah, it was another runaway, but it was Jarrett Brooks, it seemed like he was the fast one, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Jarrett was just flying around this racetrack. Again, another very young driver. Sizable lead, took the checkered flag. I think he even kind of surprised himself a little bit. The kid can really wheel that truck around that track.
And what we've learned is if you've got a leader, do not let them get away because they could not make up the differences. That was round number 1 and 2, both Greaves as well as Brooks taking main event victories. And when you look at the championship points, we have a tie. So coming into this round, we will determine again who will be that points leader. Right now, Brooks and Greaves on top of Kyle Hart, Matag, and Keegan Kincaid rounding out the top 5.
What's really ironic about this, Keegan Kincaid, our defending class champions, the oldest guy in the field, and I want to say he's 24.
Yeah, old.
I think, 23, 24.
Gosh, he's old.
So that's our current point standings in Pro Light.
So then we step it up as far as the horsepower goes. Still two-wheel drive machines, but they call it Pro 2-wheel drive, or Pro 2.
We double the horsepower nearly. We have a little over 900 horsepower, 2-wheel drive, 18 inches to travel in the front, 20 in the rear, standardized chassis. But the big thing is It sounds way different. It's 900 horsepower. Here's what we saw just a few weeks ago in Prim.
And again, this was round number 1 for them. You see these guys are not afraid to have contact, as you saw on the inside. Chad Horde, he's going to be your series points leader. The number 9 was strong out of the get-go.
And here's the biggest story of the first day, right here. Ari Leyendijk Jr., big rollover.
You saw Cooper Tires gunk, Cooper Tires gunk, Cooper Tires gunk. That's not good. That's not what you want for your first TORC series event of the year.
And as that race continued on, Chad Horde took the win in round 1. We should throw it out there real quick that Ari Leyendijk was taken to the hospital. This is day 2 in Pro 2. He was released, had surgery on his shoulder about a week or so later. He's at the track and racing here this weekend. This is day 2 here at Prim.
Yeah, what happens when you, we lose power steering, was it, for a moment? Or a couple guys actually going off into the one right-hand turn we had on the entire track. It seemed to be the focal point of the day, and Greaves again comes out on top.
Once again, that young man adds another one to his, I think that trophy room in the house is going to be turned into a trophy house. Yeah, it's the whole basement, I think.
So looking at the point standings, unlike in the Pro Lights, Chad Horde all by himself, a 9-point advantage over Mike Jenkins in the Traxxas vehicle, the Patrick Clark, Jeff Seifert, and Marty Hart.
How about Mike Jenkins, man? He's got to be licking his lips right now. He's kind of seeing that top spot. He's within reach, and he looked very strong this afternoon in qualifying.
And like we saw with Greaves, you do not see him in the points because he DNF'd. The first time we did not see him, he DNF'd in the first day's main event. So tough times for Greaves, at least in one of his 2 classes, but we'll see him today again driving multiple equipment. We'll see Mike Jenkins in the next discipline that we talk about.
How about that? There's the 2 young guys right there, Chad Matag and Jarrett Brooks, kind of watching what's going on. Yeah, we see you guys. Yeah, we're checking you out.
Trying to scope
There's our
things
Pro
out.
Lights in staging, getting ready to come up for opening ceremonies in just a moment.
Our biggest class of the day, what are we talking about? 22 trucks in the Pro Lights going at it. But I don't care how many trucks are in the class. If we learn anything from Prim, you don't have to have a ton of trucks to have awesome, tight racing. In some of our smaller classes, we saw battles on the last lap. Speaking of that, here we are at Prim in the first main event of the year for Johnny Greaves. And things didn't go so well on that first lap, the right-hander.
And here's the thing. That truck was on its lid for a good long time, and they got it back on its wheels. He was able to fire up, but then he was worried about having motor problems because the oil was on the top of that motor for so long. As it turned out, Johnny came back for the lead. Adrian Cheney made the pass. Cheney takes the win. Johnny barely finished in second, lost 2 cylinders on the last lap.
Yeah, he got past with only 2 turns remaining, but he comes back for day number 2. Again, the same competitors at it, much like you'll see tomorrow. And do you see any backing down here at all? I don't think so.
Oh, not at all. I mean, you're going to find out real soon, fans. As soon as that Toyota comes out on the track, it's got a different sound than every single other truck on the track. And, again, it was all Johnny Greaves on Sunday taking the win. He's got to be our points leader, second on Saturday and taking the win on Sunday.
Well, and he's got to have the points leader right next to him. Could you have a first and a second and a first? It looks very much like the Pro Lights. And looking at the championship points for the Off-Road Championship, Greaves and Cheney tied with 47. Kwame, Douglas, and Mike Jenkins. Again, we saw him just a moment ago in the Pro 2-wheel drive.
Mark Kwame's got to be excited. He was, I believe, the most improved driver in the series last year at the awards banquet. Now he sits third in points. In that he likes to call himself the bootlegger because he is the guy behind the scenes of Popcorn Sutton's White Whiskey. So Mark Kwame having a great start of the 2014 season.
Speaking of bootlegger, that's how NASCAR got it started. It was bootlegging. Do we have something going on with that? Is that the A-team going down the back straightaway there? What do we got? A nice van trying to enter the competition this afternoon.
Is that Scooby-Doo?
Well, I'm not sure about that van, but one thing I do know is that Taylor's got all the scoop for us, and she's down there in the pit area. Who's she with?
She's with Brad Lovell. He's a defending champion for 2012. Taylor, take it away.
All right, guys, I'm here with Brad Lovell. He is your top qualifier, which means you're starting on the pole. Of course, you are our 2012 champion in the Pro Light class, which means you raced this track here at Charlotte. Yeah. What is your opinion on racing under the lights?
You know, I think it's great to run out here under the lights. It's really exciting. It brings that motorsports feel into what we do. And I love Charlotte, this tight track. The dirt is phenomenal. Not a whole lot of ruts and rocks like we see in other tracks. So, you know, we can really let it hang out, sling it in there sideways.
Now, you are, of course, one of our vet racers. And behind you in this race, you've got a lot of younger generation guys out there. But we want to see you back up on the podium dominating.
Yeah, right on. You know, we're going to go out there and give these guys hell. We've been on the top, we've been on the bottom, everywhere in between in the last 5 years doing this. So there's a lot of new talent in here, and that's great. It's great for the sport, and we got a real strong class. And if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So hopefully we'll be on the top tonight.
All right, guys, well, make sure you keep out an eye for the number 44 AMSOIL truck of Brad Lovell. Good luck out there.
Thanks, Taylor.
Lovell in 6th in points, trying to turn it up a notch here. I think we're going to take a look at qualifying heading into today. Somebody's got to start on the front row. They had reverse order. We'll take a look at 3rd place in qualifying. It should be Keegan Kincaid in the number 7. He was 3rd fastest on the afternoon. That actually has him starting on the 3rd row outside.
Yeah, and he's another one of the young guys. Hasn't been in the sport for that long, but he's the defending class champion for 2013. Really knows how to get around this racetrack. Did very well here 2 years ago.
Kincaid will start again due to the invert. They have inverting start here as well. And second, the 81 of Doug Matag in the Ram, 2nd place, but he's going to start 2nd row inside.
Due to that inversion once again. They always kind of throwing a little wrench in things, as there's Jarrett Brooks in the 77.
Brooks, the winner we saw back at Prim. He's the points leader. And even though he was the fastest in qualifying, he starts on the inside of row 3, but it should set up a fast field. That leaves our pole sitter, as Taylor mentioned, Brad Lovell on the inside, Luke Johnson on the outside. Big names. Luke, you know, we've seen him fast in the buggies before. He's up in the pro lights, and look for him to have a strong finish. Son of Ricky Johnson, my hero.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing, what's neat about Luke is he's a story in itself right now. He's doing everything by himself. He's still going to school. I think he graduates in just a couple of weeks. So he spends probably about 16, 18 hours a day between studying and working on his race truck and driving back and forth across Southern California to get to both places.
Well, that was it in Pro Lights. Let's take a look at the Pro 2 qualifying. Again, there are 3 disciplines here. Pro 2-wheel drive, the number 3 qualifier was the 33 of C.J. Greaves. He had that Toyota whining here in the Pro 2-wheel drive. 3rd quickest qualifier, but that puts him 2nd row inside.
I love that inversion. You may not like it, Robbie, but I love the fact because it eliminates sandbagging, if you want to call it that. It's you throw it out there. Sometimes you draw a 1, sometimes you draw a 6, sometimes you draw a 0. But C.J. Greaves was very, very quick again tonight. I love this guy's talent. Absolutely off the hook.
Runs in the family jeans there. 2nd qualifier, the number 9 out of Michigan, the Maxxis Tires Nissan. That's Chad Horde. Again, even though he qualifies 2nd, I believe with that inversion, I'm not sure where he's going to start. I got to look at this. He's going to start 2nd opportunity. He's going to start, what, outside 2nd row?
And there's
inside 2nd row.
Yeah, Jeff Kincaid comes around in that Traxxas number 4. But those 2 drivers, keep an eye on them because they were very fast 2 years ago. Chad Horde had this race won, except for mechanical issue on the outside of turn 1 and 2. Made a slight mistake and bounced off that wall and cut a tire down. So Chad Horde, I think, might be feeling he's got a little bit of redemption coming here tonight.
Jeff Kincaid, the top qualifier out of Wisconsin. So Jeff Kincaid, the number 1 qualifier, he will start outside of row 2. All right, we talked about Pro Lights, Pro 2. What about Pro 4? That's the Pro 4-wheel drives. These are the bad boys, like the top fuel dragsters of TORC, the off-road championship.
Yeah, this will loosen the fillings in your mouth right now because 900 horsepower, especially this guy right here. This thing has the wildest sounding truck on the track you're going to see anywhere. I can't think of anything else to describe this thing but ticked off. That's what that motor sounds like. Greaves knows the way around this racetrack. He won that race here 2 years ago and did it in style and just was so aggressive. The battle between him and Ricky Johnson. Scott Douglas comes around in that AMSOIL Portal Exhaust Ford as well.
Scott Douglas, the number 2 qualifier, he'll start inside 2nd row. But that means that there had to be somebody faster. Who would it be? It was Adrian Cheney. So
the wild man out of New York, yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome at stop number 1. He was quicker than both Greaves and Douglas. But because of the inversion, the top qualifier has to start outside 2nd row. So the orange machine, a little bit of a disadvantage on the start. We'll see how long he stays in 4th, if you will.
Well, here's a tricky thing about that. Like you mentioned earlier during qualifying, the track is always along the wet side to start the race. And the place to be is on the outside, I believe, at the start of this race. As the race winds on, the track dries out, you're going to want to duck down to the inside. But I think at the start of this race, it's going to be all Adrian Cheney on the outside. He's going to be able to maintain the momentum down the backstretch, and then when you get to the infield, then things will start to get tricky.
This is the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte at the dirt track just outside the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Welcome everybody to stop number 3 of TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. They are lining up. Welcome everyone from around the world watching at TORCseries.com, or those fans watching our series throughout the year at TORCseries.com. But these fans are watching the YouTube channel on Motortrend. So thank you, everybody. We'll kick back for just a moment. We'll be right back with opening ceremonies right after this.
When adventure calls, count on the Trail Grappler to get you to your destination, wherever that may be. Large, innovative tread blocks provide additional biting edges to help you command the most challenging terrains as you discover new trails. The Trail Grappler's 3-ply sidewall and thick rubber construction aids puncture resistance and provides durability when you need it most. Nitto Trail Grappler, where road meets trail.
What is it that makes a Husqvarna dealer a Husqvarna dealer? Well, just look close at the engineering in our outdoor power equipment. We're known for high performance and reliability in everything we make. So is it any wonder your Husqvarna dealer is also known for high performance and reliability in everything they do? With a nationwide network of Husqvarna dealers, there's one just around the corner.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Husqvarna Showdown at the dirt track here in Charlotte. Round number 3 of the 2014 season. Well, we're that time. It's that time for opening ceremonies, and it's now time to pay respect to the people that are here and the people that aren't, might not be. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, if everyone could please now rise. Gentlemen, move your hats, as tonight our representative from Racers for Christ for opening invocation is Tommy Pressler.
Riding in the passenger side with them. Lord, let the fans have a great, fantastic time, especially the children. And Lord, as we leave here, Lord, we just ask that you'll bless us and give us mercy, Lord. We Lord, get us all back home. We love you, we pray. In your name we pray. Amen.
Race fans, please remain standing as now presenting our colors here tonight from the Fred T. Ford High School Junior ROTC. Tonight, carrying your colors, Second Lieutenant Andra Poovey, Captain Isaac Weiss, Second Lieutenant Savannah Brown, and Command Sergeant Major Austin Ledford. And now, singing the national anthem here tonight, Christian recording artist Nathan Kissler.
one thing I know for certain, Scott, is that dude can sing.
I'm glad it's him, man. What a great job. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it one more time for Christian recording artist Nathan Kistler and your Fred T. Ford High School Junior ROTC Color Guard.
All right, now it's nervous time. Whenever you're on that starting line, you hear the national anthem, you know, and you'll probably hear those famous words, or you'll see that symbol to fire them up. That's when it starts getting nervous time, because you know you're what, only about 3/4 of a lap to start this round number 3 of TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. If you're on that pole, you're the inside guy. You can push everyone wide. But as you mentioned earlier, the number 14 of Luke Johnson, that's your preferred position. You would like to be on the outside as you head into that first turn.
Well, the guys are now strapped in. I mean, their helmets are on. They got they're plugged in. They're talking to their spotters as we speak. They're pulling one little quick tug on their belts as we get ready to go. So I'm going to kind of call out the fans right now. Let's get them to fire up these race trucks. I think the fans in the stands, they came out here tonight after a year of being away. They came back to cheer us on. I think they need to fire up these race trucks. What do you say, Charlotte? We're going to fire up these race trucks for the first race tonight. All right, I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. It's going to be gentlemen, start your engines, because here we go. You're going to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As these guys are doing their preparation, I'd like to welcome everybody watching from around the world. This is the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, just outside the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the dirt track where they have the dirt track oval just next to the drag strip. My name is Robbie Floyd, Scott Reed next to me, Taylor Snyder down trackside getting all the scoop. I think we'll talk to her here in just a moment. You see those yellow backgrounds signifying the Pro Light division. We have a tie in this class. For those of you who weren't with us at the first and second stop, Johnny Greaves, or CJ Greaves, excuse me, in the lead with Jarrett Brooks, both tied at 45 points due to the inverted start. Our top qualifiers are back a row or two. Quickest qualifier was Jarrett Brooks. He starts inside row 3. You see him right there, the 77 with the Cooper tires emblazoned on the side. He was the quickest. Just to his right, the 7 of Keegan Kincaid, former class winner. He starts on the outside of row 3. So these are two very fast individuals not starting at the front of the pack.
What's really interesting too is I like the fact that Luke Johnson's on the front row. This kid, this is where he needs to start. He needs a shot of confidence. He's a shot of adrenaline. He's in a good spot to do very, very well. He had mechanical issues that were just like nickel and dime pieces of equipment that just kind of took him out of racing at Prim. This is what he needs right now, and he's starting against a former champion in this class from 2012, Brad Lovell. So the first, first 3 rows, 4 rows, talk about a stacked field right there.
Super stacked. Jesse Johnson, a familiar name around these parts. The JJ, but in a different sense in the off-road world. Now the 15 of Jesse Johnson at Husqvarna Chevy. You see him, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows back. He's going to try and improve his starting position. We also see the 54 there of Brian Osborne and the Cooper Tire Ford starting back there towards the rear of the field. Bobby Runyon, another local favorite, possibly. You know, he's used to the asphalt. You saw him out there yesterday at the GoPro kart track out there at the GoPro Motorplex, showing you that he had some kart skills as well. transferring that here on the dirt this weekend.
And the kid has got a great program going, great family. He's part of a really cool team, Joey Sylvester Motorsports. 3 trucks in that team. Somehow Joey he ran two, maybe 3 races last year. Is back here running at full time this year with 3 trucks underneath his awning. And what a great bunch of guys. They all get along so well, at least to start the season with.
Yeah, starting outside is Joe Sylvester. Names like Harris, Sleegers. Back towards the back of Brian Osborne, Cossack. These are guys that have to move up. In case you're wondering, you might have seen it on TV. This will be televised on the NBC Sports Network. Tessel's over to my left, making the call for that. We do have a competition yellow as far as this racing is concerned. So at the halfway point, they bring out the yellow, and how they are when they cross that halfway point, they will line up once again and take off for the second half of the race. So it tightens up the field as they prepare here for stop number 3.
And I got to call out the guys here from Barkerville, Michigan, the Kleiman boys. Kind of interesting team. But Dad's got his truck run both days, but then his sons kind of trade seats. One will race on Friday night, one will race on Saturday night. So the Kleiman's running in that Bonzi logging equipment entries are both out there. It's kind of neat to see how they're going to do when they've been known to race against each other at especially at Prim. They put in a lot of test time there. They're there for over a week, I think, testing, and they're taking it very, very serious. They're putting full time into this year.
So which Kleiman's Friday? Which Kleiman's Saturday?
Boy, that's just one of the
Kyle's
Kleiman
Saturday,
boys.
I think.
Yeah, it's one of the Kleiman boys. We'll just go with that.
Kleiman's there.
I think it's Cody that's running tonight. I believe.
Yeah,
Cody.
I think you're right. There's the 48. We believe to be Cody Kleiman. In the Ford. Look at that, even on the window. That's the king of indecision right there. Do they put duct tape over one each night? That's awesome. If you can't have 2 trucks, it's nice to share one, right? I will trade right now. Cody, Kyle, either one. You can hop up in here and talk with Scott Reed. I will hop in your truck. I don't know what kind of condition it'll be after this thing's done, but you don't want to put a motocrosser with a roll cage around him. You talked about Luke Johnson. His father, Ricky Johnson, former champion in TORC, the Off-Road Championship. Luke's his son, and he might have been a motocrosser in his own right, but I think he had a real bad mountain bike accident and broke his wrist, which pretty much kept his father from racing Supercross and motocross. His dad, Ricky, is my hero in the motorsports world as we're looking at the other Johnson. Now,
no relation, but best friends.
Yeah, it's like we hear JJ, but yeah, not the Jimmy Johnson we're used to seeing.
I really hope that Jesse's been on a cloud 9 all weekend long because he's in his backyard. His friends are here. His family's is here. Some of the first time that anybody's ever seen from this area seen him race off road, and I want to see him be patient the first 2-3 laps. I don't want to see him try to win it on lap 1 or 2. Patience, I think, through lap 2, 3. If he can just stay clean and stay out of the way and not kind of like mix it up with a lot of guys, he's got just as good a shot to get to the front as anybody else here. So it'd be kind of neat to see him up there. I believe that's Cam Ramers right there in the 21, the SSI decals.
Yeah, Cam Ramers on the inside
multicolor.
of row 5. Yeah, you
out of Iowa, man.
Hey, the Midwest, that's racing country and used to dirt, is mind you, as well. It might be a sprint car or modified or something, but something tells me he's fast in an off-road truck as well. We saw Reimers battling it out. Let me see, where is he in points? He's in 7th in points.
Yeah, he didn't have the greatest opening weekend, and he had missed to that. And I think he was kind of a little impatient at times, just trying to get out there and stuck his nose kind of when there wasn't quite a hole. He tried to make one and got himself in trouble a couple of times. And I'm right there, that on camera right now, the 33 Monster Energy Toyota of CJ Greaves. There's just something about that kid. He's
fast.
Yeah, I mean, he drives like he's a 30, 35-year-old veteran at such a young age. And every single time he hits the track, he's got to be labeled as the favorite.
Okay, it looks like the course workers making sure everything is all right. We see the, what do we call the lead truck, the one that we were giving the ride-alongs with earlier. And for those of you watching around the world, they actually do give ride-alongs in the pace truck. All they had to do was, type in a certain name, TORC, to a certain number here locally, and they got to ride around this track at an extremely high rate of speed, and they'll be doing that tomorrow. So those fans watching online, you can be a part of TORC the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. You can be a part of it here and get to drive in a nice truck on a very fine track here. And there it is, 56938. Text the word TORC, T-O-R-C. I'm kind of surprised he threw that on there, because now you got some guy watching in Belgium in the middle of the night. And he's texting, yes, 56938.
Well, now he has to come to a race, and we're going to be in Bark River in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be kind of cool.
Bark River, that's up there. I wonder how far that is from Dallas, Texas, where I'm from.
It's north of, let's put it this way, when you leave Green Bay and you drive towards Bark River, somewhere along the line there's a geographical marker in the highway. So you got to stop and read it. It says that big, huge rock with that bronze plaque embedded in that rock. It says, you are now halfway between the equator and the North Pole.
Really?
Yeah.
You're up there. That's crazy. We're just moments away here at the Pro Lights, the first of our 3 races tonight. Practice is over. Qualifications are over. They have an inverted start. They have, we don't know how many they invert until they actually do it. Do they pick a ping pong ball? Do they say rock, paper, scissors? They have whatever way. They can be just a couple of guys inverted. They can have a 0 invert. But invert nonetheless, and it looks like about a 3-row invert for Jarrett Brooks, our top qualifier, Doug Matag, number 2 qualifier, and Keegan Kincaid, the number 7, the 3 qualifiers. So,
well, it looks like it's time as they go out there for their quick couple laps of getting these things warmed up. We got 22 trucks at the line. Here we go. The number 95 running in a Ram, sponsored by Cunati. It's Andrew Kosak, also with Jack Link's Beef Jerky on the side. Right alongside him in the back row, the BFG Sleeco Plastics entry number 99, Jeff Sleegers.
Row 10 on the inside, the 54 on the Cooper Tire Ford, Black Rhino Racer X Ford, that is Brian Osborne, and to his right, Ian Harris in the Radar Tires Ford, number 22.
Our next truck in row 9 on the inside, Tim Limeron in the Maxxis Custom Windows Plus Stacked Stands, number 58. Alongside of him, Jason Janis, his first appearance in 2014 in a Nissan on Toyo tires and Pro Power underneath that hood.
Well, this guy has a perfect sponsor on row 8 inside, number 9, and the Cooper Tires Ram, sponsored by bodybuilding.com. That's Bobby Runyon. To his right, the 48 of Cody Kleiman in the Kenda Tires Ford.
Next row up, it's the dad, Mark Kleiman, number 42, Kenda Tire, Ponzi Logging Equipment, number 42, alongside of him, another driver from Bark River, Michigan. His first appearance in 2014, Scott Boshaw.
Row 6 on the inside, driver number 15 of the Maxxis Tire Chevy, sponsored by Husqvarna, Jesse Johnson. To his right, the number 8 Cooper Tires AMSOIL Ram, that is Joe Sylvester.
SSI decals, Ty Lua Maxon, the number 21 Ford of Cam Ramers, alongside of him, Travis Dinsmore, the Nissan on Kenda Tires.
In row 4 inside on the Maxxis Tires Ford, sponsored by AMSOIL and Pack Springs, the 27 of Sean Morris. To his right, Randy Eller on the Maxxis Tires Nissan, number 11.
Our current points team, number 77, Jarrett Brooks in the Synergy Electric Cooper Tires Nissan, alongside Keegan Kincaid, defending class champion in Nissan Cooper Tires as well.
Don't count out Doug Matag. He's driver number 81, second row inside the Cooper Tires Ram. He qualified number 2, sponsored by Ethica and Walker Evans. To his right, the 33, also series points leader in the Pro Lights on the Maxxis Tires Monster Toyota, that's CJ Greaves.
Front row, Brad Lovell in the AMSOIL Toyota and Luke Johnson in the Ram Radar Tires.
What about a hole shot by Lovell? Quite the start there.
Just get through these first couple corners clean. Luke Johnson looking very good. Nobody around, but now aggressiveness. They're 3 wide in that left-hand corner.
Lovell closes the door. You see the white AMSOIL truck, the 44. He's going to set up and probably take that inside now, as there is only one right-hand turn here in Charlotte.
Doug Matag takes a look on the inside of Luke Johnson. They all take that inside line. Again, split lanes, a little bit off rhythm. One spot, there's this flat spot right alongside a rhythm section. Brad Lovell come across the line leading lap number 1.
Luke Johnson, good drive. Matag in third. The number 7 of Kincaid back and forth.
Randy Eller.
Whoa, and
got in the back of Cam Reimers. Reimers got into the side of Jesse Johnson, almost put him in the wall, but now Reimers has major damage on that 21.
And just off camera again, we're calling it here live as well as around the world. And you see Johnson getting a little bit too wide there. Matag, again, still stuck with that outside position. Johnson's probably going to close in on that right-hand turn, but it looks like Matag able to get underneath him. Maybe this might be his chance. Matag in the 81 looks like he takes over second. See if he turns left here shortly.
And that's that split line. Luke Johnson had the hard way of doing it as he was going through the rhythm section, but he has the inside line coming up onto the front stretch. Almost had to come to a stop, and that will hand over to Doug Matag. Luke Johnson falls back to third, and now here comes Keegan Kincaid to the inside.
Kincaid dives to the inside. Look at that, going to the inside. Johnson way on the outside, but going inside to out as Kincaid not able to make that pass. What a race for second, third, and fourth. It looks like Lovell trying to check out of this one, about a 3-second advantage, 2 seconds.
Lovell, Doug Matag, Luke Johnson, Keegan Kincaid, Sean Morris. Here comes Jared Brooks. Brooks had the momentum, gets around the outside of Sean Morris as Morris kind of stuttered a little bit coming through the infield.
Luke Johnson not backing down, banging trucks with the 7 of Keegan Kincaid. And that seems to be the best race on the track, is that race for third right now. Fifth, excuse me, Jared Brooks. He was the winner at the last round. He's got to turn it up if he's going to catch up with that lead pack. Top 4 kind of separated himself first to fourth about 5 to 6 seconds.
I like the way Luke Johnson's driving right now. He's aggressively going into those corners. He's pitching that truck sideways, trying to set up for the straightaway before he gets there. But right now, it may be a little bit on the early side of doing that. He's kind of has to protect that line a little bit, I think, because right now Kincaid is all over the back of that peak anti-freeze entry.
They'll both be side by side. Just in front of them, though, I think maybe the ground starting to close up a little bit. Lovell's either dropping back, or we're seeing an 81 of Doug Matag and the Cooper Tires Ram starting to close in a little bit. But it looks like Kincaid now makes the pass for third, gets by Johnson, but Johnson with a hard drive.
Johnson's not giving an inch. He'll go around the outside. Over-rotates.
And he takes out a big tire, stays on the throttle, and powers out of it, loses a couple positions.
Tough break by Luke Johnson. He wasn't about to lift a bit, trying to hang on. But you know something? Luke is the kind of guy, he just took a mental note. He's not going to do that one again.
What about CJ Greaves? I see him on the track to the far right. He's way back, and he didn't start near that far back. He started on the outside of the second row. He's had problems, and that's one of your series points leaders.
Doug Matag seems to be reeling in our leader right now. Brad Lovell, maybe about 5 truck lengths. And we got a truck pulling off the track to the left side of the course, right in front of the Husqvarna inflatable.
So here's the race. Lovell, remember he had about a 2 to 3 second lead. Not anymore. Look at this right-hand turn. Lovell's trying to hold on position Matag. He looks quicker right now. He's closed that gap. Look, where's he going to go? Inside or outside? Inside's the position. Looking to grab a lot of brake.
Just misses, lightly tagging that left rear on Brad Lovell. Matag, another one of those young guys, driving well beyond his years.
So he's a little faster. Let's find out maybe where he's faster. You don't want to follow the guy in front of you. You'll never get by him. Take it a little bit wider lines, Matag.
And look at all the lap traffic they're coming into. And this probably might be where Brad Lovell might have the experience getting through traffic that Matag doesn't have just yet in his career.
What's the last 3 letters of Matag's name? Tag. And that's almost what he just did to Brad Lovell, getting by the 99 of Jeff Sligers going through lap traffic. Lovell, oh, nice move right there. That looks like it's going to set him up perfectly. But look at the drive. Matag down the front straightaway, takes over the lead.
Brad Lovell stayed tight to the inside, on that left-hand turn, scrubbed off way too much speed. Meanwhile, Matag went to the outside of lap traffic, kept the momentum up, and made the pass on Lovell on the outside.
Now he's going to be the first one that heads into lap traffic. That's always tough when you're into lappers and you're the leader, because you're the first guy that sets the tone. There is a blue flag waving generally at different times, if possible. I don't see any waving right now.
Deep in lap traffic right now. Matag trying to almost off the track. It's almost as if the 95 of Andrew Kosick didn't know he was coming, but
now I said that about the blue flag. They have that in general racing. Do they have it in TORC Off-Road Championship?
They would have it, but the thing is, it's so hard to show right now.
Yeah, where would you wave it if you were to wave it? Separating himself now. Lovell's able to get through that lap traffic, so he will just have Matag just in front of him. As you see the distance in the background as both head towards that right-hand infield turn number 3.
Look at Matag. The attitude of that truck is so much different. Its ride height,
Whoa.
the acceleration of that truck is so much different than everybody else right now. And here comes Jared Brooks. Brooks now it's going to get up on the back bumper of Brad Lovell. Brooks is really on it.
So Brooks has moved into 3rd now. What happened, 7 we saw earlier at Keegan Kincaid. If it's Brooks that's now in 3rd, he may be the quickest guy on the track. And remember, we have that competition yellow right now. The yellow is out with that red flag. We will tighten it up. So you may have hit on something. Jarrett Brooks may be the fastest guy on the track, even though he's not the guy in front right now.
I would not be surprised one bit if that's the case. We don't have the telemetry here in front of us to see the lap times, but now here's the interesting part. We bring out the competition yellow, slows the field. The pace truck will come out and pick up the entire field as they come around, but now they're in the middle of lap traffic. There's lap vehicles in the middle of all these.
Now, what do you do with the lap traffic that's in between? Do they?
It's up to them.
Up to who?
It's up to the lap guy if he wants to pull out to the side. And
this was a battle for what? 2nd place at the time, 2nd or 3rd place actually at the time. Luke Johnson on the outside, and Kincaid, no contact there. Luke just had that perpetual.
Wow. I mean, Luke Johnson wasn't about to give an inch. He did everything he had to do, but I got to look at Keegan Kincaid and the move he made to avoid. He knew at one point, all of a sudden, he's going around, and look at that. Never touched him.
That was nice.
Never touched him.
And Luke has to stay in it, hoping that it would try and right
Whip around,
himself.
yeah.
I mean, but do you see he crushed that tire? That's a pretty good sized tire, and I see it crushed over there to the right-hand side, but didn't miss a beat. Let's look back through the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, well we still have the lap traffic.
Well, here's the thing we started talking about, the lap traffic. If you're in the middle of the lead lap guys, and it's up to you to pull off to the side and let the lead lap guys go by or not.
Okay, so as soon as the truck pulls out of position, these guys have to stay in single file line up until basically what, the flagging stand, and then they can pull out?
Actually, right at that jump right there,
The
you
first
see the first
jump.
the first orange cone.
That's their acceleration cone.
That's the acceleration cone.
So
right now, they should pull off to the side if they choose to and let the lead lap cars by.
So between the 2 orange cones, that's the acceleration area. Anywhere between that time, you can start. I think we're going to take a quick break as they line them up one more time and get guys set. We're coming back here to Charlotte right after this.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
So
right back to the green flag. Here we go into turn 1. Matag gets a nice jump at the line, and it's a 3-way battle for 2nd spot.
Lovell in 2nd. A good drive. Who's that on?
Jared Brooks.
Yeah, dude, we thought he was the fastest. Look at him there in 2nd as position on Lovell. Lovell back in there, but here comes the 7. Look at that.
3 wide to the infield.
Kincaid's now on the right as we look at it in the screen. He's on the outside. What do you do if you're Brad Lovell? You got that inside. You're loving things.
Trying to jockey around, and what's really impressive, every one of those 3 trucks still has every fender in place.
Look at this. Watch the dive bomb.
Kincaid might be trying to force the issue right now, but keep in mind, as more they battle, the more the rest of the pack can work their way forward. Jesse Johnson was off the track for a moment.
Oh, look at him coming down the front straightaway just off camera. These guys are banging as they head down that final turn. You see the 77 trying to get on that inside as Jarrett Brooks what I believe may be the fastest man on the track, but you tell that to the 7 of Keegan Kincaid.
Kincaid braked early going into the corner, trying to get a run off the turn, but Jarrett Brooks kind of did a little block job, and a nice job at that. And Lovell over-rotates. He'll collect. Keegan Kincaid piles drives through a tire, trying to get through. He'll lose one spot, possibly two, and does, as Sean Morris now finds himself in 4th place.
Oh, and Morris almost went too hard on it. Kincaid's not happy, or something going on there. He ran into the back
of Jarrett Brooks, and right rear flat tire on Lovell. Right rear flat tire on that AMSOIL Nissan of Brad Lovell.
Well, that probably happened in that right-hand turn when he over-rotated and got tagged by either Brooks or Kincaid. So what a race we have here in Pro Lights, the first of 3. The 81, Doug Matag, is checking out, but now that they're separated a little bit, maybe something will happen. Jarrett Brooks has worked his way up. He started outside row 3. He's up into 2nd now. Matag started just in front of him on the initial start.
Talk about a change of affairs. Brad Lovell at one point was our leader by what, 7, 8 car lengths at one point early in the race, and now, I see a black flag coming out.
For who?
I'm not sure, but there's a black flag in the hand of our flag man.
And that could be a rolled up one saying, watch out, I see what you're doing. If it's a waving one, there we go. It's back in the pack a little ways.
Oh, you take a guess. It might be for Cam Reimers.
Yeah, I think so. That looked like he was pointing at, and that's a waving flag, so you got to pull over on that one. That's not just a, hey, watch it, buddy.
So we have Doug Matag once again running up front. And that number 81, 2nd, is Jarrett Brooks. 3rd, Sean Morris. 4th, Keegan Kincaid.
Maybe, because Kincaid's really closing in.
Wow.
That 3rd to 4th race is the best one, taking that last turn, heading down the front straightaway. Matag's checked out. Jarrett Brooks looks like he's got good separation. That race just behind in 3rd is front bumper to rear bumper. There we go, is the 27 of Sean Morris. Has been very aggressive, has worked his way up into the top 3. Keegan Kincaid has been there all night long, but I mean, he's just been like a TORC off-road sandwich.
Oh, and here comes Kincaid trying to make the pass on the inside on Sean Morris. Couldn't make it stick, scrubbed off a ton of speed going to that inside line. And again, just a little bit over rotation. Trying to dive into the corner. I'm starting to wonder possibly if Kincaid may be having brake issues, because he's been really aggressive going to the corners.
Using his throttle to steer him around more?
Yeah, using the throttle to steer and using that transmission to slow down.
Right. Green flag now. Still a few more laps here at the Pro Light. Race number 1 of 3 here at the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte. The 27 of Sean Morris in 3rd position.
He's pulled away a little bit from Keegan Kincaid, but Kincaid is still very fast. It's kind of like he makes a mistake, falls back, and then gets out back on it again and reels in Morris. But Morris is right now skilled enough to block the areas or be quicker around certain turns, as it looks like in the final corner, Jesse Johnson's pulled off the track. No, that's Luke Johnson.
It's Luke. So it's tightening up again down this front straightaway. This race is far from over for the race for 3rd. Keegan Kincaid in the 7. The Cooper tires, Nissan, Traxxas colors. Look, he's setting up on the outside. The 81 out in front, Doug Matag. But that race for 3rd is getting tighter now as they're side by side once again. Matag should be getting the white flag here shortly. We're in the 2nd half of this Pro Light race.
Sean Morris now coming up on the back of lap traffic. Kincaid trying to thread the needle, and does, trying to get around as well.
Watch this. Where's Kincaid gonna go? He squares it up early. He's gonna be underneath. Does he go low to push him wide? Look at that. Side by side. They're in contact coming into the front straight.
Into turn 1 of the oval. Kincaid gets a little swap happy going into the corner. Just glanced off the outside wall.
This is the closest they've been, and I see the white flag in the flagger's hand. We're at the end of this Pro Light race, the race for 3rd. Kincaid doing everything he can, squared up the outside. Doug Matag has had an awesome race. He started in 3rd position. He's worked his way into the lead, but this race for 3rd is far from over.
That track is rutting up big time in that right-hand infield corner. Now, that's not normally a racetrack. It's the grassy infield area, so I'm not surprised that's happening. The tag gets around lap traffic. There's one. And we got Kincaid's up and over. Kincaid in the infield. Looks like a flash fire from the transmission. But I didn't see what started it, but Kincaid on his roof. Tough break for that young driver.
And no yellows out right now. It looks like, yes, it is yellow. Full course yellow I'm seeing on the right-hand side. So, in the interest of safety, they have a full course caution, and as well they should. We still have a little bit of fire going on with Kincaid to 7. As you mentioned, probably a transmission, some fluid getting on there, and hit hot and fuel don't mix together. Let's take a look at this one more time. Watch the number 7 in second of the Traxxas colors.
Oh, Morris got kind of hooked in that rut a little bit, and they hooked bumpers just for a moment, enough to turn side. Oh, Sean, I didn't even see Sean Morris go over.
How about that? Morris went over first, and it's Kincaid that had a cloud of smoke and a Hardy Hi-Ho Silver. So Morris got hooked. He went over. That was the launching pad for Kincaid. And what a crazy night already. This is the first of 3. And unfortunately, Kincaid was fast the entire race, and I said he was like a TORC sandwich almost the entire night.
Now keep in mind, he's at the back of the pack now, but if he can get that thing right up onto its wheels and there's no damage, that he could come back on the lead lap, obviously being the back of the pack on the lead lap, and he still would be on the lead lap.
But would they take the white the first time around? Because they were under white flag then.
Keegan's out of the truck. I'm not sure if he'd get back in or not at this point.
Never salvage points if they tell him. Remember, we saw the rollover. Now it was much earlier. It was on the first lap. We saw the rollover with Johnny Greaves at the first round in Prim.
Right now, it kind of looks like they may be having problems trying to get that thing up on its wheels. It kind of wants to, here's another shot at the replay. Sean Morris goes into the corner. Big deep rut right there. Had to lift just a little bit. Kincaid had nowhere to go, and up and over.
And again, it was Kincaid, wrong place at the right time. And
now I'm kind of wondering, will Keegan try to get back inside the truck? His helmet is still on. We'll see if he's going to try to get in to maybe salvage points.
He's going there unless
he's in no big hurry, though.
Unless they're visually inspecting it. I would be asking, but then again, maybe you don't want to do motor damage as well. I don't know. For a position or two possibly on the restart. Remember, Johnny, we know he hurt his motor when he was upside down for quite a while. I talked to him that night down at the casino when we were at Prim, and what did he say? He heard that bloop sound, of the oil bubbling up, and then he said, I heard another big bloop, and he said right then I knew I was in trouble.
So it looks like Keegan Kincaid's out. Both the Kleiman guys are out, and also Luke Johnson. And now Cam Reimers has stopped right underneath the flag stand. So
he's still wondering about that black flag.
I think he's got issues from before the black flag. There's something mechanical. He's going off on the strap.
Okay, so when they take the white flag, do they go back to the previous lap, I think, for the scoring? So will they go around once, take the white, was almost like a green, white, then checkered, like AKA NASCAR?
Well, I missed it because I was watching the incident. I don't know if the leader took the white flag, if he actually did or not.
Pretty sure, but I mean, I don't know.
I think it goes back to the last completed
previous lap, right.
Yeah.
That's when they do the scoring anyway, is to find who was there.
So there's Mark Kleiman, the dad, did not have not sure what exactly happened there. He's got some front end damage. I'm not actually, yeah, the left front pointed the wrong direction.
Well, either that or his right is what, because when you had the front wheels, one pointing in, the other one pointing even more in, you've got problems. That's a little too much toe in.
Oh boy.
Reimer's having a tough day. I got the flag and then having to get the toe.
Tell you, CJ Greaves has worked his way back to the field pretty stealth-like, because he's right now in that 4 spot.
And maybe
and how about Jesse Johnson in the top 5? There's a shot of Luke Johnson, tough break for him. He was looking pretty good there about mid-pack, or mid-race, I should say.
I'm curious to see what happened with CJ Greaves over. It looks so dominant at Prim, and of course it is a different race, looking so strong at Prim, but dropping back well into the field. I mean, we've had some top guys drop out. 2 of our top 5 just fell out of the top 5, but maybe we'll get Taylor with a word on that here in just a moment. But the pace truck is still out here with only a couple of laps remaining in the Pro Light division. We've already And I mean two full laps, I believe, at most probably from the end. We've already had our competition yellow.
Looks like they're going to pull Luke Johnson out of the – he's just on the grass on the inside of that right-hand infield corner, so it looks like they might be pulling him out of the way more towards the center before we take the green flag, which looks like, yeah, they're going to be giving him one more time by.
And the reason being, when they take the right-hand turn, the guys are trying to do everything they can to come as close as they can to that inside tire without hitting
too
it.
much has happened in that corner right there not to can I get my truck out of the way, please?
As they say, in the interest of safety.
So right now, as I following the pace truck, it looks like it's Doug Matag.
Hey, there's some autograph material
on
the video board right there about to happen.
Well, race fans, you look at the video board right there. Head on down to the Sean Morris pit area tonight, and I guarantee you he's giving that away. He'll autograph it. All his crew guys will autograph it.
Somebody will get it.
Yeah, someone's going home with a right rear fender.
Now we got a stall on the front straightaway, the 54 of Brian Osborne. He stalls for whatever reason on the front straight. He might have to be towed off.
No, if I remember, wasn't he having issues earlier in the race as well? I'm not exactly sure, but
so they're slowing him down.
Tough break for him. He's one of the 3 members of Joey Sylvester Motorsports.
And again, they'll have to have another wave by. And on these restarts, and I'm new to TORC the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. They come around what would conventionally be turns 3 and 4 in the dirt track. They do not go through the middle portion for the restart, so they go around that far outside. So that's how they do the starts for the starts and restarts.
So Osborne will get pulled off from that black Rhino number 54 entry.
And it should be just a straight pull off to the infield there going into turn 1.
Yeah, where the parking lot is with...
It's a battle of attrition for these guys. You say they tear up their equipment, basically. They run it as hard as they possibly can. They tear it up, they fix it, and then they come back at you the next day.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you this. The trucks that are in the infield parked right now will be tore down to bare frame, every nut and bolt tonight. And I'll be surprised if there's a team out there that works on their vehicles straight through the night tonight to get ready for tomorrow. Doug Matag, CJ Greaves. Something's going on. That kind of jockeyed around a little bit. I thought Jeff Brooks was up there. I'm not sure what's going on right now. Oh, man, Greaves pulls into the hot pits. Wow. Greaves pulls into the hot pits. I thought we were going back to green this time by. And Jesse Johnson pulls in the hot pits. Brad Lovell pulls in.
And the reason for that being, it looks like, I'm not sure. They're working on that, but it's another wave through. I think, did they make it official? I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's a time factor, possibly. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're running out of fuel. Might have been a fuel, because it looks like they may have waved the checker. That's why we're seeing Doug Matag doing donuts down the front straightaway. Again, trying to hear official word on what the call is, but the way it looks, we have the USAC officials over to our right. We're looking to see is this a checkered, but I have not seen a flag being waved. Tess Sewell, who's doing the television broadcast, looked over to us, and he showed me the international sign for checkered flag, and it looks like we have our top 3 pulling up to that. So it looks like we may have an official race.
So if that's the case, yeah, it was Doug Matag taking the win, Jarrett Brooks second, and Sean Morris third.
Yep, so it looks like, so is that a case, do they have a time factor as well due to fuel, or what would the situation be typically?
I have never seen a race called or stopped before because of fuel situation, but I'm thinking that with all, I mean, look at all the vehicles on the infield. We had probably half the field, and I think maybe that was a dangerous situation. I'm not sure, but
maybe you lose half the field, you still have 11 trucks, but this looks like it's going to be our top 3. What a crazy way to kick off the night as the sun's starting to set over our shoulder here. Only a little bit on that back straightaway, still illuminated by the sun, and they're going to fire up the lights, or the Musco's starting to fire up right now. Congratulations goes to Doug Matag, a great run by him, and he kind of showed his strength throughout this race. We're seeing our lovely pit reporter. Taylor Snyder over there on down track side. Let's go down to Taylor Snyder. Looks like Doug Matag ready to climb out.
Doug Matag, what a pro light race out there. This field was stacked, but of course you got right in the front, but you did have a little bit of complication, and that was with lap traffic. It didn't seem to be an issue towards the end, but how was it out there?
Man, that was a fun race. Real clean, everybody was clean. Yeah, I ran into some lap traffic out there, got a little door-to-door. That was the most banging I did. It was with the lappers, but it was a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to do it tomorrow.
And I have one more question for you. How did those shadows affect anything out there?
Definitely coming into I'd say that's turn two or three right over there. You could not see anything going in. You would just throw it as hard as you could to get the truck to pitch down, and it was just so much fun. The visibility sucked a little bit, but not too bad.
All right, well, another congratulations, and we're going to talk to you again in just a bit when we get all of our Pro Light guys up on the podium.
All right, so Doug Matag takes the victory. Quite a crazy way to finish this one, Scott. We're going to step aside for just a moment here at Charlotte, just outside of Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a Husqvarna showdown in Charlotte. Stop number 3, here, round number 3 of the TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ready. Drive.
And 90 degrees up on 2 wheels.
Fly. Dominate. Celebrate. MagnaFlow.
What is Monster? It's killing tires on the ultimate gymkhana course. I'm Ken Block, and I am Monster.
We didn't get a... Well, Ken Block may be Monster, but I am Robbie Floyd, and you are Scott Reen, and Taylor Snyder's down there track side, and we know who that is. That's Doug Matag, the winner here in Charlotte. Let's take a look at the replay from the Pro Lights, the crazy start to kick off tonight's action.
You know, so surprisingly, it was a very clean start, much cleaner than I thought it would. Coming to turn 1, and then as our winner was working his way through the pack, Kincaid at one point I thought was the fastest truck on the track.
Yeah, but Luke Johnson looked quick until he went around. You're going the wrong way and then back again. It's not spin to win. He didn't have a chance. You see it one more time. He was in that perpetual spin, kept his foot in the throttle. It just wouldn't come around for him.
And then at the restart, you got Brad Lovell, who was an early leader in that race, trying to get his way through the pack and over rotates. And I think you're correct. That's where he lost that right rear tire. And this was probably this is what defined the race right here. I think Kincaid was the fastest truck on the track, but this pretty much took him out of it.
Yeah, and Sean Morris comes out in third. He rolled over, gets it going back again, and the guy that rolls him over is upside down and causes a little fire. But Doug Matag was oblivious to that. He said it was a clean race, no contact except for lappers. That's because he didn't see everything that was going on behind him.
You don't race with the rearview mirror. Well, it looks like Taylor Snyder now has all our top finishers at the podium. Taylor?
All right, well, I talked to our winner just a minute ago, but what an exciting Pro Light race that was. And I'm going to start with someone who seems just excited up here, Sean Morris. Sean, you've been in this class for a long time. You're one of our awesome vets out here. And man, what a competition. So much action, so many cars going in and out. How was that race for you?
Oh, it was awesome. Well, first I want to thank these youngsters here. I think they could be my kids. But, you know, I'm a veteran of this class. Been racing with TORC for, 8 years now. And, I mean, it's always awesome to get up on the podium. It was a heck of a race. I was in third, and Keegan got under me and rolled me, and I got the lucky part of it. I rolled and landed on my wheels, and, hey, I'll take it. We had some bad luck last race. Broke and then rolled on the last lap behind Keegan. So here we are.
Anyone you'd like to thank for helping you get up here today?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Jason from Pack Springs this year. He really came forward with us. I also like to thank Maxis, Aaron, Brad, Sean, everybody that's here from Maxis this weekend. Thank you so much for everything you've done. Thirdly, I'd like to thank AMSOIL and a long list of others. Those are our top 3, but thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you guys do.
All right, well, a big congratulations on your awesome 3rd place finish today in Pro Light, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on over to our 2nd place finisher, Jarrett Brooks. Jarrett, you are one of the young guns in here, and you seem to just be on fire in this class. No one can catch you. But again, I want to know how those shadows out there affected this race course.
I didn't really see too many shadows. You know, I put on a clear visor today, and the sun, you know, I kind of had to pass up. I got the sun in my eyes, so I don't know. It was pretty good. You know, it was a gnarly race. Doug dominated. We had the track was actually turned out pretty good. You know, there was still a lot of traction out there, and me, Morris, and CJ were battling. I actually got in my field really bad, you know, but happens in racing. So I just want to thank all my sponsors: Cooper Tire, Maxima, Fox, my family, COD, and just everyone who helps me out.
All right, big congratulations to your 2nd place finisher, Jarrett Brooks. And moving on over to our top place finisher, Doug Matag. Doug, of course, a lot of lap action going on out there, as well as competition with the leaders. Let's talk a little bit about that pass for your lead.
I think it was Lovell that was in front of me, and I just knew I had to pick my spot, that I was faster than him, and I was tripling in over here behind us, and I just kept doing it, and I'd gain on him and get on him, and then I actually gave him a little door going through the rhythm section, and got the pass, and I was just pumped from there, just nervous. You know, you look at the flag every lap, like, come on, white flag, come on, white flag, and I thought I was going to have to battle it out with my teammate at the last lap, but they ended up giving me the checkered flag, so I'm pumped on that, and I couldn't do it with all my sponsors, COD, Walker Evans, Cooper Tires, Team Associated, AMSOIL, everybody. Thank you.
Well, there was a lot of confusion, so I can assure you that in tomorrow's race, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to battle the top spot, so I'd watch out.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to do it tomorrow.
All right, we can't wait to watch you. Congratulations again, Doug, on your 1st place finish. And of course, let's give it up for all of our podium top 3 finishers, Sean Morris, Jarrett Brooks, and Doug Matag.
Scott, with Doug Matag's victory, he was 2nd in points coming in. This really helps him with his, first victory of the season. After that 2nd and 5th, we saw him at Prim, but the points really tightened up because Jarrett Brooks, he's got a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd. You see him 2nd spot on the podium. These are a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old up there.
I noticed you were looking at the bios real quick, trying to figure out. I think the combined age of 1st and 2nd is still younger than the 3rd place finisher, Sean Morris.
Yeah, Morris messes up the whole equation, 20 or younger. But he's right, and one of those could be his son. But it just shows you the talent you have in the field, but also the parity. I mean, anybody can win at any given time, but we're starting to see, the guys, the cream rise to the top on the left-hand side there. Both of these guys haven't finished outside the top 5 so far in 3 races this season.
Then I look at these guys. In fact, it's Jarrett Brooks probably more so than anybody. I envision him to be riding his 10-speed down the street, tossing papers out on his paper route as compared to running out here in a 500 horsepower Pro Light and doing it in such a dominating fashion.
All right, now we get to see how do we spray the champagne or sparkling cider, whatever it may be.
Come on, guys, let's see what you got.
And Morris called it out too. He said, I got rolled, and then the guy that rolled me was rolling. Next thing I know it, I pulled out in 3rd. I like that. That was he knew the situation he was in, and he knew it paid off for him. All right, so race number 1 is done, but we're far from over. We still have 2 more to go. The victor is Doug Matag here in the Pro Lights. We'll see the Pro 2-wheel drive when we return here shortly. It's the, what do we call this thing? The Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte at the dirt track in Charlotte, North Carolina.
EMS professionals often use gas-powered tools and depend on this equipment to start when needed. That's why they use VP small engine fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines. Try VP small engine fuels for your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them. Order online at HomeDepot.com or visit your local dealer.
Well, still the celebrations going on. Pictures with family members, and looks like the Monster Girls down trackside. Once again, welcome everybody to the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte at the dirt track. Rounds 3 and 4 of the 2014 season, and I can't imagine what we're going to see in Pro 2.
No, because we give them a little bit more horsepower, maybe a little more experience for some of these guys. And we had an awesome stop at Primm, Nevada. But if this first race is any indication, yes, there are places to pass here at this track. And as we're doing this, and just behind that graphic, they are reworking the track. In the right-hand turn, we see the road grader out there trying to re-prep the track. So they're not going to go out there with a blue groove slippery section. They're going to have a nicely prepped track to kick things off for race number 2.
Well, I think that the right-hand corner is going to be taking care of those ruts, because that's what took out Keegan Kincaid, and Sean Morris had issues there as well as he went over. But the only place that I kind of see maybe a possibility at this point of Blue Groove coming in will be in turn 4 of the oval, where they come back out on the track from the infield, and then possibly once again off that backstretch jump going into that left-hand corner into the infield. I do see turn 1 and 2, the line, outside line, they're going up against the wall, especially in the Pro 4 race. The fast line is going to be on the outside line, and Pro 2, I think it's going to be the same way, because it's only 2-wheel drive, and that's going to find that right rear up on that berm and ride it all the way around that corner. And that's the fast way that Chad Horde was doing it last year. He had or 2 years ago. He had this race won, but got up into that corner too high, bounced off that wall, popped the right rear tire, and I think it was with a lap or lap and a half to race. It was his.
Just trying to keep all that momentum up.
Yeah.
And see, that surprises me. I could understand it totally in the 2-wheel drive, because they don't have the front wheels grabbing. As an outsider looking in, as we're watching the video monitor, if I look to the right, what do they say? The quickest distance to point A to point B is a straight line. That's a lot of room. I mean,
yeah.
if you're on that outside, I'd be curious to see, if you walked it with a tape, how much more distance you're going to be covering. So even the 4-wheel drives with all that horsepower and all that grip, by taking that shorter distance, they're not getting the grip that they want.
Well, keep in mind, if you're on the inside line, you got 4-wheel drive, you got that push. You go into that inside line, you turn the wheel, and it wants to going straight.
Take you right.
And it's real. Once you into that push, it's really hard to come out of it. The Pro 4s, they can go out there and they'll do very much like 2-wheel drives. They'll run it around the corner, as Jeremy Meyer is kind of give us some attention. I hope that's really. Hi, Jeremy.
With Amsoil.
With Amsoil, yeah, he's got to do this. He's got to make that appearance at least once a night here at the races. But if the trucks are on the outside line, they go into that left-hand corner, that right rear side of that truck is going to be riding that wall, is just inches off that wall, and you'll have maybe a little bit of a push, but not nearly as much as the inside, and you won't be scrubbing off all that speed. You may not have the position coming out of the corner, but by the I can guarantee this, down the back straightaway, you'll have made up that position with the momentum that you've been able to maintain.
But like I said, also, I always hated it as a racer, giving up that inside line. And the farther that cushion goes outside, it just opens the door for somebody to run it in there.
Yeah.
Because this is a dirt track. The first turn here is the first turn at the dirt track here in Charlotte. So
as you talk about that right-hand corner in the infield where the blade is at right now, I see 2 tires, inside tire markers. I guarantee you this: that's one of the laps in the Pro 4 race, somebody's going to clip the smallest tire of the 2. Somebody will hit that tire. They'll be able to hit that corner real tight to the inside. You won't see any guys going to the outside. You'll see guys keeping it real tight there in that corner.
Well, the Musco Lights won't want to be a part of that, but we're going to step away here in just a moment. They're doing some track preparation. We still have a lot more racing. Thank you for watching from around the world on YouTube, the Motortrend channel, and those of you watching here in Charlotte. It's the Husqvarna shootout here we have for the second race of the night, about to kick off here in just a moment.
When you take that checkered flag and you're standing top on the box, you're proud to have AMSO on your shirt. But I tell you what, when you take that motor apart in the dyno room and you look at those bearings and you see how great they are, you're really proud to be an AMSO driver and to be representing a team that has product that's that good.
Once again, welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina, and the shopping mall has got to be pretty busy right about now.
Yeah. Somewhere over there, is that our hotel, the direction?
My wife is going, is there a Nordstrom's? Do I see a Nordstrom's there?
No, but there is an outlet mall. So those of you fans coming from, around the area, you can not only check out TORC the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL, you can also go outlet mall shopping. About,
by the
2
way,
miles.
Honey, I'll be down here at the racetrack. You can go ahead up to the mall because this is what it's all about here tonight at the racetrack. Once again, welcome back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, their dirt track. It's the Husqvarna shootout here in Charlotte as we get ready for 900 horsepower two-wheel drive trucks to hit the track. And right now I got to call out a friend of mine who's back at Crandon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that nice picture. Both Robbie and I are sitting here going, yeah, we had a couple of hot dogs during our break.
Yeah, you're 2 hot dogs deep. I'm a hamburger, and you've got pictures.
He sent us a picture of a couple of steaks. He's watching us on the internet.
Show him, yeah.
Steve Naughton, I really appreciate that, man.
That's what's happening in Crandon.
Yeah, we know where you live.
Yeah.
We heard that you serve crepes in the morning on Saturday, I believe it is.
That's what I've heard.
So we're gonna be coming looking you down.
And Crandon's so fun. We don't even go there once.
Twice.
We go there twice.
Yeah,
twice.
So
is nice.
we know where you live twice, Steve Naughton. Which, by the way. In fact, here's something kind of cool that I love social media.
Yeah. Hashtag TORC throughout the afternoon.
Of course, Ari's got to be in the first one.
Yeah, she's maybe the new bachelorette because we know he was a bachelor on that program.
You see Steve Barlow's brand new Pro 2, the CAT-sponsored vehicle on the right-hand side, along with Adrian Cheney in the lower right, but there's Ari on the left side. It's so good to see him back.
We'll see those guys coming up here in just a moment, Pro 2 as well as the Pro 4-wheel drive. Send us throughout the day, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, hashtag TORC. There's a little man there checking things out on the front row earlier, probably in practice or in qualifying.
I remember seeing them walking here earlier, and there's Joey Sylvester with a couple of fans. He is no newbie to hanging out with the fans, I can tell you that right now.
No, that's your monster guy, right?
Yeah, that's he's driven, for years, has driven Bad Habit, the monster truck, and actually right now is the current world record holder in distance jump in a monster truck, 300 I don't know how many feet.
He was about to take
it's
out
a lot of feet.
Your rental car earlier. Is that Mr. Johnson on the left?
There's Jarrett Johnson on the left with some fans, and Mike Jenkins on the right, along with Keegan Kincaid signing autographs earlier this afternoon.
And I think their card stock weren't here, so they were signing in Traxxas magazine. So he got a magazine and an autograph for the deal.
Oh, no kidding! No, very cool.
Yeah, and then they do have the Traxxas demos going on. Over there to our right as we face out towards the track, and that's not too far from where they're at right there. Traxxas based in Plano, Texas, not far from where I live. I think a new facility. It's either their grand openings like right now, right around this time. Either happened or it's about to happen. Again, if you're facing the track, we talked about I just got through talking about how the Traxxas demo is going on throughout the afternoon. But if you face the track, if you turn to the right, you can just keep walking around towards the pits. The pits are open for these guys. So the pits are open. Check out all the food vendors, also all of our vendors in general from our national sponsors. You see that little guy cruising around there? Now taking the track, the number 55 Husqvarna tractor machine is Lindsay from Husqvarna. Husqvarna wants to remind you to stop by the product display area outside the main to see all the new equipment and stuff. But that is the Husqvarna trophy cart. But their product display area outside the main area to see all the new and innovative outdoor power equipment, chainsaws, trimmers, blowers, lawnmowers, tractors, zero-turn mowers, and more. In support of the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte, Husqvarna is giving everyone in attendance, 18 and older, excluding Husqvarna employees and their families, a chance to win their new garden tractor featuring Smart Switch. Stop by and register today. Entries must be received by the start of the Pro Light Race on Saturday. So by tomorrow, before the start of the Pro Light Race, you need to register. The winner will be chosen tomorrow after the Pro 2 race. So before tomorrow's Pro Light Race, you need to register. Again, you got to be 18 and older, and you can't be a Husqvarna employee or one of their family members. But somebody's going to win a brand new garden tractor featuring Smart Switch from Husqvarna.
And I've been watching that truck going around the track. It's pretty cool with 20 inches of travel front and rear. And Lindsay's knows she's one of the gals from Husqvarna, and she likes to have some fun. I don't know how she got the chance to drive that thing, but that thing's a blast. Stop by over the Husqvarna display in the backstretch and check that thing out. Pretty cool.
Okay, Well, we saw the little Husqvarna little machine out there, but we had, you know, a guy with some problems at the first stop as we head towards Pro 2 here in just a moment. We talked about the Bachelor. This guy was on the Bachelorette. He was one of the guys being chosen. Made it down to the end. Was one of the last two or three guys.
I think he was the second to last guy. Yeah.
He's a buddy of mine. He's a former Indy Lights winner. And now he's racing here at TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by Amsoil. Let's take a look at what happened to him at round 2 of our championship series in Primm, Nevada. This is the first lap, mind you. Watch right there. Gunk. Cooper. Gunk. Cooper. Gunk. Cooper. Gunk. Back to Cooper's again. Now looking at the in-car camera, and watch the window netting. Watch his arms flying around. This is R.A. Leindyke Jr.
That's going into the corner. Now coming out, and here's where it all goes down.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we completely stopped, red flagged the race. He got out under his own on his own, but just for safety purposes, and that's what happened right there. Collarbone.
That is called the clavicle, and that is called a lot of medical. Let's go down to Taylor. She's with R.A. Leindyke Jr. right now. Taylor, what do you got?
Well, guys, I just spoke to Ari before he started up his truck, and he is pumped to be out here ready to race. Of course, he seemed a little cautious coming out of the Primm race, unsure whether he could pull it off. But after getting this car, getting comfortable in it, he is so ready to race. And of course, he says there's nothing better than a good comeback story. So make sure you keep an eye out for him. Hopefully, he won't be doing any more over the handlebars.
Yeah, not too many handlebars, but I like her reference. You know, I'm a moto guy. Grant Langston's over to my right. He probably looked and gave me the thumbs up when I had the handlebar reference as well. But I thought about it, and I talked to Ari. He didn't know. He knew he broke his clavicle. He knew he broke his collarbone. But I talked to him at Primm, and I said, hey, Tyler Bowers, the Amsoil Arena Cross champion, came back last year, and only in 3 days he was back racing, you know, after having his collarbone surgically, you know, fixed. And he looked at me like, really? You know, can I do that? I said, yeah, it's going to hurt, but I promise you it will hold up and it will be done. And that's the case. So before we get to the Pro 2 race, we're going to step aside for just a second. We'll see how Ari and the rest of the crew do right after this.
When adventure calls, count on the Trail Grappler to get you to your destination, wherever that may be. Large, innovative tread blocks provide additional biting edges to help you command the most challenging terrains as you discover new trails. The Trail Grappler's 3-ply sidewall and thick rubber construction aids puncture resistance and provides durability when you need it most. Nitto Trail Grappler, where road meets trail.
Husqvarna's latest innovation is based on a simple fact. The earth is not flat. Its hills, valleys, and uneven terrain inspired Husqvarna to create a line of all-wheel drive mowers that help make easy work of any mowing challenge. The earth isn't flat, but with a Husqvarna all-wheel drive mower, it sure could feel that way. Find the all-wheel drive mower at your local Husqvarna dealer and Lowe's.
Well, once again, welcome back here to Charlotte, North Carolina. We're at the dirt track, and it's being kicked up right now as the Pro 2s are on the track getting warmed up for the next race.
Yes, they are, and it's the same format. We've already practiced, we've already qualified, and the field was set. There are 9 drivers in the Pro 2-wheel drive. Sometimes we refer to them as Pro 2s. That just means that they're professionals in a 2-wheel drive category, unlike the Pro 4s, which is the Pro 4-wheel drives we'll see after this race.
And you know what? The planets had to have lined a perfect way. The weather was perfect. Everything happened just right because look who is on the front row pole. Local boy, 2nd year in the series, 2nd year in off-road. He's in Husqvarna's backyard, and it's the man, the little brother of Jimmy Johnson. It's Jarrett Johnson. You couldn't ask for more of a Cinderella story to at least start this race.
You're correct. In the top qualifier, Jeff Kincaid has to start back on in the 4th position, so he'd be outside row 2, I believe is where they would have him set up. Number 2 qualifier was Chad Hort, CJ Greaves, the top 3 qualifiers.
Well, as we go right in the lineup, it looks like we're going to be going green this time by on the back row. It's a 76 Cooper tire entry of Andy Zipper. Alongside of him, will be the number 5. Brand new colors on that truck. That is Steve Barlow out of Temecula, California. That cat, black and yellow, number 5.
Mike Jenkins, the 47 out of Plano, Texas, in 7th on the Cooper Tires Traxxas Ram. And then in 6th, we have Nick Tyree, San Diego, California, on the Maxxis Ford. In 5th, Ari Leindyke Jr. We saw the problems he had in that Cooper Tires Gunk Ford out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And the number 4, Jeff Kincaid, the top qualifier out of Wisconsin, the Cooper Tires Traxxas Ford. In 3rd, the Nissan out of Michigan, Chad Hoare, the number 2 qualifier. Number 9, CJ Greaves, the 3rd qualifier out of the Toyota out of Wisconsin. And Jarrett Johnson in the pole position on the inside out of El Cajon, California on the Husqvarna Maxxis Tires Chevy. Greaves has the outside line. Let's see if he can hold on to that cushion. Look at the Husqvarna drive.
He's got it. 3 wide coming to turn 2.
Make it 4, it looked like almost for a second.
Whoa, look out. Johnson goes around.
That was a close call. Jarrett Johnson goes from first to worst.
So it's CJ Greaves, Chad Hoare, Jeff Kincaid. How about Ari Leindyke Jr. down to the top 4? Nick Tyree, Mike Jenkins, Steve Barlow at number 2 right behind him. Coming around onto the front stretch, completing lap number 1. It's CJ Greaves in the lead, Chad Hoare in 2nd, and Jeff Kincaid 3rd. And Tyree's off the track. Over-rotated just a little bit, coming back onto the corner on the front stretch. He might even have a right rear flat tire. Have to keep an eye on that. Looked awfully low. We'll see if there's a problem with Nick Tyree.
So Chad Hoare, the series points leader, in 2nd. CJ Greaves would have been up there. He had one good main event, one horrible main event with a DQ or a DNF as far as a broken spindle was concerned. But Greaves out in front of this one, the 33, the Monster Energy, doubling up there, making that left-hand turn. Hoare is on it though, and he saw a little lunge after that double, trying to make up a little ground in that last left-hander.
Well, like I said earlier, Chad Hoare, I think, has not a chip on his shoulder, but has to feel that this track owes him something. He had this race basically won 2 years ago with a lap and a half to go, bounced off that outside wall in turn 1 and 2, popped the right rear, and took him out of the race.
Kincaid, that's him back in 3rd, correct? It looks like Kincaid maybe closing in just a little bit. Made up a little ground on Chad Hoare at 1, 2, and 3, separated by about 2 car lengths apiece.
Now keep in mind, these guys have set up this their trucks for the second half of the race. As we got a great battle right now for 1, 2, and 3. Mike Jenkins back in the 4th spot. There's a 4-truck battle now for the 4th spot. For the 4th spot.
I think the race in 3rd right now, I think Jeff Kincaid looks quick. He looks fast, he looks racy, although he's in 3rd.
He's got the back of that truck. Looks like it's set up pretty soft because it almost has a sprint car look to it right now. With either that left front or right front, whatever turn he's in, is almost kind of like skipping across the top of that dirt. Wants to pick up in the air like a sprint car.
Look at him trying to close in on Chad Hoare. Hoare in 2nd. Greaves still out in front, taking that inside line right up against that tire. He's not going to let somebody go underneath him there. Also, maybe a little fresher dirt. Doesn't want to go wide.
Back up onto the front stretch. We've got Greaves, Hoare, Kincaid now pulled away probably about 20, 25 car lengths over Mike Jenkins, who's running in 4th. Ari Leindyke in the top 5. Barlow, Johnson, Tyree, and Andy Zipperer.
So Ari Leindyke running on adrenaline back there in the 5th position. Question of whether he would be able to hang on and drive. Yeah, no problem for him. Really, the top 3, I mean, you can throw a blanket over them. I know it's a cliche, but they are very tight. 4th is Jenkins. He's a considerable ways back. Remember that competition yellow, he's going to start the outside. Actually, the competition yellow, he's going to start right on the tail.
Jenkins over-rotates. He'll stay in that same spot, 4th place, but he's lost a big gap going back to Ari Leindyke. So Leindyke now is kind of like breath of fresh air, trying to reel in that 4th spot. Down that backstretch into that tight left-hand corner. Heavy braking. They basically throw that truck sideways, still on the oval, point it to the infield, and accelerate going into that.
Horde tries sticking a nose in. Look, Horde on the inside. Will he get the drive coming out? I don't think so yet. But watch, setting up into this last left.
Good drive out of the corner, but somewhere CJ was able to hang on. Now stay tight to the inside. Greaves will slide wide. Horde goes inside.
Crossing up a little bit, coming down that front straightaway. This is the closest he's been. Look at him dive to the inside. He's trying to look for any grip whatsoever. Not going to get it, but again, don't take the same line as the guy in front of you. You'll never get past him if you do.
I think CJ right now finds himself in a spot he hasn't been in a long time, if ever. He has got a guy that may be a tad faster than him and really breathing down his neck. And I think right now, CJ's racing as much of this rearview mirror or a spotter as he is the track in front of him.
Now, his dad has been his spotter before. Is he the one that's talking to him today up top?
That's a strong pot. To be honest with you, I really don't know, but I have a funny feeling he is.
So we do have competition's yellows. As you know what, I'm looking at the race for 4th position as we drop back from these top 3. It looks like Mike Jenkins with a lot of pressure from Ari Leindyke Jr.
Man, our top 3 trucks just backing it up to the wall. How they're not touching that outside white painted wall as they dive into the infield. But that rut is back on the inside.
Nobody's taking that outside line.
Wow. CJ Greaves up about mid-pack coming around the corner. Chad Horde once again up against that wall, trying to find traction on that right rear. Now watch, they back these trucks up into the wall and point the trucks into the straightaway. They diamond up the corner. It's not a nice, easy bank turn. It is a basically point the truck and almost diamond off the corner.
So I'm seeing the yellow being pulled out next time around. We will get the competition yellow as you see the unburnt gases exploding below the truck. So Greaves coming across Horde, and then the 4 of Kincaid. We'll step away and we'll come back right after this competition yellow.
Ready. Drive.
And Johnny Greaves up on 2 wheels.
Fly. Dominate. Celebrate. MagnaFlow.
What is Monster? It's killing tires on the ultimate Gymkhana course. I'm Ken Block, and I am Monster.
Competition yellow with CJ Greaves, Chad Horde, Jeff Kincaid, Mike Jenkins, top 4. And how about Ari Leindyke Jr. in the top 5? Great run by him. Now keep in mind, years ago, I can't remember the driver, but he had the same exact problem that Ari Leindyke had. And the driver was telling me at the time, the straightaways and the jumps he was fine with, but whatever shoulder he had an issue with, that corner, when he hit that corner and made the turn, that's the only time it really hurt. The other way that when he turned wasn't bad, but whenever it's in the corners, that's when that shoulder hurt.
Oh, I bet, because think about it. You've got a strap coming right across that, that collarbone. That puts pressure directly on it. So when you're doing it, all that force, it was the left.
The left. So actually, that's not a bad one on this track because he's almost all left-hand corners. Right there in that turn, especially with that rut that's forming in that right-hand corner.
Well, you got to remember
the pressure
when you're. I remember my body when I'm taking
look at Ari, his window net's down.
What's he doing?
Ari Leindyke's got an issue. He cannot race with that window net down. He's trying to put it back up himself. As that number 25's going down that backstretch, he is The window net looks like he's still working on getting it up.
And remember, that window net came down at the last race, and that might have been, there he goes, he got it.
Oh, he's okay, because if he would have to pull into the hot pits to get it taken care of, that means he would have to go into the back of the pack.
I'd be looking at a different latch or something. I don't know if it's just something he's bumped or what may cause that. It's just a flip. It's just usually just a little lever that goes down like a cam lock.
80% of the women in the country just breathed a sigh of relief right there.
Hey, don't give him that much credit. He's not that good looking. He's a friend of mine. I can't let him do that.
All right, the pace truck's off the track. It's CJ Greaves, Chad Horde, Jeff Kincaid, Mike Jenkins, and Ari Leyendijk Jr. And we're back to green flag racing across the line. Chad Horde slightly lower on the track than CJ Greaves. Will he try to dive into that left-hand turn?
He's going to try.
Chad Horde lit up that left front brake caliper. Man, that thing was day glow. Red, now the end of the infield.
You know, all those guys trying to take that inside line. Horde tries squaring it up a little bit more. You're seeing a lot of traffic back here in the 4th, 5th position. The number 2 driving back of Steve Barlow. He was up in 6th, I believe. He drops back to 7th. Oh, and is that Johnson? Who is that?
Yeah, it's Jared Johnson trying to go to the inside of Ari Leyendijk Jr.
Not able to make that stick. Leyendijk still in 5th behind Jenkins. Oh, what was happening on that far side with Jeff Kincaid in 3rd. Oh, look at this. Horde starting to close in. Nose in. He's going to set up
there
inside.
It is.
Right mid-turn. It literally, wow. CJ looks really good mid-turn.
How that didn't over-rotate, because he was past the halfway point, I think, of no return.
Now you're seeing the outside. Horde finally takes the outside. He over-rotates. He's going to get a good drive down this straightaway, though. But I don't know if you want to be there.
I think the infield dirt is still a little bit on the loamy side to try to get some traction coming out of that corner. CJ Greaves at the proper line coming through that turn. And Ari Leyendijk is still working over Mike Jenkins as our leaders go through turn 1 and 2 of the oval. Now about 2-3 car, and Chad Horde gets a good run through the corner.
But this one is CJ's as we're looking at Ari Leyendijk trying to close in on Mike Jenkins, who's in 4th. 1st, 2nd, 3rd evenly spaced, and you can see the line that Ari's taking, that high line, trying to square it up and get a straight drive heading towards that middle section.
Oh, Jeff Kincaid has a problem.
Oh, and Nara gets stuck behind him and has nowhere to go, and looks like he stalled the truck.
Jeff Kincaid trying to get out of the wall. He may have damaged the right front. In fact, it looks like he may have issues with the entire front end of that truck.
And Ari's on fire right now trying to restart it.
Jeff Kincaid in the wall. Now he's slow on the track. And Ari Leyendijk absolutely had nowhere to go. You called it, Robbie, but now Ari can't seem to fire that truck back up.
No, it was flooded, and it looked like he was on fire trying to restart it, but just all that bottled up fuel had nowhere to go. And now he's stuck there, and it's not a full course caution. There's green still being shown, but that outside of the right-hander is not pretty.
Kincaid is trying to keep going. He's trying to stay in it for points. Now watch the front of that truck. There's something's not right with the front end of that truck, because we do have a full course yellow right now.
Now we got it, and it looks like the tow rope being out so they can take care of Ari. And having a really good drive, and was all over Jenkins pretty much the entire race, and is going to have to get towed out of this one literally. Oh, and it looks like he might have. They able to bump start themselves? Because it looked like he.
Yeah, yep. There's TomTom pulling the hook off. He got it fired back up.
Unfortunate for Ari Leyendijk Jr., the son of the Indy 500 winner and the record holder, as Jeff Kincaid pulling off.
See, that was predictable, but now Ari, I want to say he's in the back of the pack.
But is he on that lead lap?
No, I don't think the leaders went past him.
When they dipped the yellow, the full course yellow? I don't know. We'll have to look over at our USAC officials, because everything is officially unofficial that comes out of my mouth for sure. It's almost like we need one of those guys to sit in our booth, the way it's been going tonight.
So it's CJ Greaves. Oh, and
what are you seeing?
Jared Johnson off the track in the backstretch.
There's a guy who had a tough time. Remember, he was the pole sitter, spun around, started working his way up. Boy, he was up to 5th, 6th a little while ago out of 9 starters. There's 7 still running.
Well, he put a ton of work into that truck during the offseason. Cut off a lot of weight. Redid, I think, the whole front end, redid the whole back end, and he's been fast. It's just got to be able to put all the pieces together and make a complete puzzle and make that thing work, because he's done a ton of work, both him and his brother Jesse, on that Pro Light that they have.
Jared from El Cajon, unfortunately, if you don't know Spanish. Yeah, but El Cajon means the casket, and he's dead in the water right now.
So there's our leader, CJ Greaves. It looks like they're getting the one lap sign as they go by. So it's CJ Greaves, Chad Horde. Mike Jenkins now finds himself in that 3rd spot. Steve Barlow in 4th. And Nick Tyree in the top 5.
So we have word that Ari is on the lead lap, so he's back there in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. He was fast. I'm curious to see if he can get up there in the top 5 again. Johnson drops 2 laps down.
And look at CJ up against the wall, checking out that track. Look at that, way, way up against the wall.
That's called cushion inspection. I don't know that I'd want to get that high to even think about it in a race situation, but here we go. Look for the acceleration cones, those 2 orange cones somewhere between there. It's up to CJ when he wants to start.
So it's CJ Greaves, Chad Horde. Here comes Barlow inside of Jenkins. Barlow tries taking that 3rd spot away. It looks like he may have made the pass, now going into turn number 2.
And I was looking at Ari back there in last. He's passed 2 guys in 2 turns. And Leyendyke up into 5th once again, where he had his problems earlier. Where will we see the pass out of Chad Horde, or the pass attempt? Where will we see his best opportunity? Because he's been all over CJ Greaves, but has yet to make that pass.
Well, I'm not sure if it's going to be right there in turn 4. I believe it may be in turn 1 and 2 of the oval, the high speed area, if it happens at all.
Does he chance just one bonsai move on the one right-hander and set himself up on the high cushion, knowing that it's a long way around?
Right now, he's got to figure out where he's faster on the track than CJ.
I mean, you got to take a flyer, but you also don't want to open the door for 3rd place to get it on you.
You got to time it just. Oh, and Mike Jenkins goes around the backstretch. So he was battling for 3rd, now is last on the track. And that puts Ari Leyendyke up into that 4th spot.
And Ari tried that high line and squared it up to go inside from the far outside. I think he might have made up a little ground. He might get a podium at this rate.
Tell ya, he's making up ground on Steve Barlow going into turn 1 and 2 of the oval. Chad Horde up against the wall. CJ Greaves right about midline through the corner.
That dust. He was so far outside, he kicked up dust that I hadn't seen before. You can't play follow the leader if you're going to make a pass. Just like Ari, we saw on camera there for him. He was on the outside, actually made a little contact with the wall, but look, he's all over for 3rd.
Here comes Ari Leyendyke. Leyendyke tries the inside up Barlow in that right-hand infield corner.
And he's
got the spot. He hits the rut. Now it's a drag race down the straightaway.
Does he shut the door? Does he close in? Barlow's on the inside. Ari's got nowhere to go. He squares it up and tries going underneath. Now he's going to have a drive down the front straight. Look at this. And he was out of this race just a few moments ago. Now he's in 3rd place, and I promise you, he's going to take him as wide as he can. No, he doesn't. He gives it. That is a very respectable amount of distance he gave him to the outside.
Oh, Barlow gets a little sideways. Here goes the outside retaining wall, spins out, and now Ari Leyendyke in that 3rd spot.
In podium position, and Barlow is still yet to let off the gas. We got that the whole time, never let off. So is it another CJ Greaves runaway? We see the 9 of Chad Horde still in 2nd, but losing ground as we're in the waning moments of this Pro 2, race number 2 here in Charlotte.
It looks like the line through the high-speed area 1 and 2 down the backstretch may be taken away now into a single-lane track. But I think it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to be right there in turn 3 of the oval coming down in the infield, if it happens at all. But, man, CJ, once again, just so strong. Big rut in that right-hand turn.
He's trying to split it. He's trying to get the rights and lefts over the top of it. He doesn't want any part of that
and
sidewall.
There's the white flag. In fact, it looks like a big rock has kind of been kicked up through that infield right-hand corner as well. But 1 lap remaining, the white flag is out. Chad Hoard's got time running out.
And look at all the roosts down the front straightaway for him. And roosting right now in turn number 1 is CJ Greaves. Hoard in second. Lyndike in third. 4th place to 76 of Zipperer. Mike Jenkins back there battling for 6th and 7th. He's trying to make up for that spin earlier, but he's only got a half a lap to do it. CJ, he's walking the tightrope through that rutted section.
Just misses that big rock that's been kicked up. About 8 car lengths now between him and Chad Hoard. One final time up onto the turn 4 of the oval. That Toyota slides wide up to the wall and will come all the way down the front straightaway. CJ Greaves will take the win. Chad Hoard second. And how about this? I can't wait to see this interview as here comes Ari Lyndike Jr. from a hospital surgery bed to the podium. We'll take third. We'll be back in just a moment with our winning interview, CJ Greaves.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
And there's CJ Greaves adding another notch to his career win belt. Wow, like I said earlier, man, he drives with the experience well beyond his years. The kid is so talented. But as impressive as that drive is by CJ Greaves, I got to absolutely call out Ari Lyndike right now. It was just a few weeks ago he was in surgery. It was just a few weeks ago that he got cut out of that truck with the jaws of life. Spent a couple nights in the hospital. And then he had issues at the beginning of this race. And now to come back and finish on the podium, fantastic job. I wish his mom and dad were here to see this. What an emotional podium this is going to be for that guy. And look at this. As Ari was crawling out of that truck, he sat on the windowsill and kind of tapped it on the roof a little bit like, thank you, honey.
Hey, well, think of the crew. Kudos to Ari, but what about his crew as well? We'll talk about that in just a moment. There's CJ, and probably getting some Facebook or Twitter. Make sure you hashtag TORC on there as CJ getting ready to climb out of his truck.
I don't think Kathy is listening to us, but hashtag TORC, Kathy, that picture. And let's turn it over right now to Taylor Steiner, who's down there trackside with our winner. Taylor?
CJ Greaves, this has to be a very special win for you in 2012 at this track. This was your first race in the Pro 2, and you happened to win that race. So how awesome does it feel to come back and repeat this again?
It's awesome. I mean, my first Pro 2 win was here ever in a Pro 2, and it's awesome to be back at Charlotte and take another win. But I can't give enough to my crew, my guys that worked their butts off. Don and Ernie from Shamrock who build my engines. Hats off to those guys. They did a great job. All my family, everyone back home, all you guys, the crew who built this track, they did a great job. Monster, Toyota Maxxis, MagnaFlow, Maxxis Tires, Troy Lee Designs, everyone that helps me out. Thanks a lot.
All right, well, a big congratulations and a great race out there, CJ Greaves.
At what, 18 years of age, and showing how strong he is. Yeah, 18 years old out of Wisconsin. The 2010 and 2011 TORC Super Buggy champion. And let's take a look at this race one more time. A quick recap. It was hard to keep up with it, but CJ come out on top. But how did he get there?
Oh, there was so much action going on. We were supposed to watch the front. There's something going on in the back, and it was just things going on all over the place. As we've taken a look at this, there's a start, and man, what a tough break for Jarrett Johnson. Just had issues all race long. Was starting the pole, but look at that. At one point, 4 wide.
Oh.
And that's where it all started for Jarrett right there.
A little bit of clip, and that might have been a problem for Kincaid, but you see Ari Leindyke, he was able to work his way up some, pressuring Chad, or no, it's not Chad, pressuring Nick Tyree for just a moment. CJ out in front before the competition yellow, and
so close so many times, Chad Horde.
But that's the way they crossed to the competition
and
yellow.
This is huge right there. That moment, struggling with that window net.
And he was on the outside, started in last, caught up to the 2 of Steve Barlow. Barlow didn't let off the throttle right here. And watch him, he's on the outside. Ari gave him a ton of room, but over rotation, he was loose, and then he went to swap out right.
At the jump, oh, that was scary.
Look at that, I mean, he's heading right for the wall. Awesome job staying out of the wall and stayed on the throttle and is able to keep that truck rolling on all 4 wheels. But that was Ari's move up through the pack. Nobody could catch CJ Greaves all night. A close call a few times for Chad Horde, who finished second. Ari Leindyke in third. But CJ, again, this place has been good to him as he takes his second win here at Charlotte. Let's go back down to the podium. Taylor is with our top 3. It looks like they're doing the presentation. A smile's on your face, and I'm sure on my buddy Ari Leindyke Jr. as well, Taylor.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with someone who's got ecstatic. Ari Leindyke Jr. went from a back crash in Prim to not knowing if we're going to race here. And in the middle of the race, we had some complications. How does it feel to make it all the way back to the podium after that race?
I was just really glad we're on the lead lap. I didn't know that until going into so it's game on. So thanks to all the RSC employees, Gun, my title sponsor, Cooper Tires. They worked really good, and it was a fun race for sure.
All right, and what kind of difference does it feel like to be out here racing under the lights instead of in the day like it was in Prim?
It's cool. It adds a sensation of speed, and when a guy comes in underneath you, you kind of see their shadow first, so it kind of gives you an idea how close they are. I liked it. It was awesome. I can't wait for tomorrow. Hopefully we can get the thing dialed in a little bit more, and then maybe climb a couple steps. Run with these dudes.
All right, I think CJ and Chad will have something to say about that. Congratulations, Ari Leindyke, on a great race and a great 3rd place. All right, moving on over to our 2nd place finisher, Chad Horde. Chad, you are turning out to be one of our strongest competitors in this class this season, as always, of course, but talk to me a little bit about that race. In the first half, it was very competitive for the top 3 spot, and I know you were not going to let CJ easily.
No, it was a great race. You know, we had a great start, and CJ pulled out into the lead, and I kept trying to put some, passes on him or get up. Couldn't open the door for him, but just CJ and I battled at the last race for the lead, and we battled for the lead here again. I give him respect, he gives me respect. But just to be standing here on the again for Bob Snowplow and Amsoil and Max Racing Shocks, it's just awesome to be here. Isn't like this.
All right, congratulations on a great race, and I can't wait to see tomorrow's. All right, moving on to CJ Greaves. CJ, we just spoke. Of course, this is a special track for you. This is where you raced your first Pro 2 and where you got your first win. How out here with some of these strong competitors out here?
You know, it's a tough track at Prim and broke his collarbone, so hats off to him being back out here and racing with us. Chad Horde racing with him. I thank him for running clean, and I think we're going to have a great season together. And we're battling it out at Prim, and hopefully there's more to come. But I can't give it out. My family, my crew, Donnie and Ernie from Toyota, everyone that helped us, Maxxis, Toyota, Amsoil, Team Associated, Forest County Potawatomi, everyone that helps us, Devin, all my crew, everyone, thanks a lot.
All right, guys, give it up for your entire Pro 2 wheel drive podium. Ari Lyondike Jr., Chad Horde, and the man on top, CJ Greaves.
So slowly moving his way up the leaderboard for the championship. What are you thinking?
I kind of thought I'd see a little bit more emotion out of Ari.
No, he was happy, but he's been there before. He's new to the Pro 2. He did a few events last year. This is his best ever
he was
finish.
in Pro Light last year.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying period in off-road racing.
Oh, yeah.
He only raced. And his best finish was a 4th at Crandon last year. Now he finishes on the box in an upper level. But I mean, he's pretty laid back. I mean, if he wins this thing, I promise you, we're going out and partying. But and ladies, watch out. Look at it. But I mean, I promise you, he's happy, especially coming back there. But did you see what he said? We're going to try and do some stuff, and maybe we'll come back and challenge these guys tomorrow. He's not settling for 3rd. What I was talking about before we went down to his interview earlier, kudos to Ari. Ari. But what about his crew? Because remember how nasty that truck looked like 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
I'm not sure what they did, but I was looking at that thing, and I thought the truck was junk just because they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of it. Basically cut the front end off, cut the back end off, and build a new cage, and then reattach the front and rear. I don't know what they did, but it was like you said, it was a total mess. It took a front end loader to lift the truck up onto a trailer. They couldn't roll it.
And when we were at Roush Yates today, I looked at one of their cars. I think it was one of David Reagan's that they were working on it. I could see where they basically put a new clip on it, or the front end, clip in a car, but where it looks like had damage and did the front. They had a couple weeks to work on it, but it was a ton of work. CJ Greaves, there's a guy who had a couple of mechanicals. He didn't qualify, and he comes back in this class. He had spindle problems. Those two guys went at it all day today. They're going to be doing it all year, and CJ works up a little bit higher into the program. Race number 1, a 10th. Then he comes back, race number 2, a win, and now another win here tonight. So he's moving his way back up to the top, and that's something that I don't think his counterpart there wants to see.
Yeah, just a moment ago, you saw a picture of CJ and Chad Horde. Those two race each other so cleanly. Both trucks, as hard as they battle, both trucks have all their fenders in place yet. Not a crack, not a splinter, no nothing. In fact, we got one race remaining here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to check that out in just a moment. We'll be right back after this.
Emergency safety crews depend on their gas-powered equipment to start when they need it. That's why they use VP small engine fuels, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. Designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines. Try VP small engine fuels for your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them. Order online at homedepot.com or visit your local dealer.
Well, once again, welcome back, everybody. We've got full-size racing all night long. We got some more coming up, but right now we got some downscaled racing going on the track. Taylor, what do you got going on down there?
All right, thanks, Scott. I'm down here with Traxxas, the fastest name in radio. These guys are putting on a little show for the fans out there. We've got our E-Revos flying. These things are about 75 miles an hour. They run a brushless motor system, and let me tell you, they fly. The wonderful thing about Traxxas is they have something for everyone. If you're into off-road, if you're into on-road, aerial, if you like flying, we have a brand new quadcopter out. We also have boats if you're into the water. Traxxas does have the fastest name in our radio control, the 100-mile-an-hour car, which is the X01. If you guys want to see them do more flips, you got to scream a little bit louder. Can you guys make some noise? That's what I like to hear. How many flips you want to see them do? We also have our lovely Traxxas girls helping us out. And don't forget, you guys can purchase these today over in the Midway area. Just stop by the Traxxas zone and they'll hook you up with any vehicle of your choice, including the awesome e-Revo that you're watching here right now. Out there today, make sure you make it to our website at traxxas.com. That's TRAXXAS.com.
Well, as the fun continues down trackside, I would love to be in the pits right now as Ari Lyndike makes his way in to the pits and having, you know, I want to see emotion out of that guy.
You know, I want to drive one of those. I'm a horrible driver, but I think they, you know, I don't know if they'll let you drive them out there, but they'll be doing demos throughout the night over there at the Traxxas display. And remind everybody, if you made it inside the venue here and you're able to check things out and watch the races, you were, how does they pop that thing up like that? You were also able to go out there and see the drivers, go in the pits, check out all of our vendors, all the people that help support this sport. Just face the track and then turn right and work your way around the outside of turn 1. I don't know how those things pop up the way that they do, but it's unbelievable. Traxxas is one of our sponsors here. My son turned 9 years old last week. I've got to get him one of those.
Yeah, you're dead.
Taylor,
means you gotta
hook a brother up. We'll be back right after this.
We had these torrential downpours, and these trucks are not designed to have another 2,000 pounds of mud put on them, and then you pack the radiators tight. The tranny gauge, the water gauge, the oil gauge, everything's pegged. The AMSO product came through for us and kept the rear end, the transmission, and the engine all running fine. And I tell you what, we were ready to go for the next day and pretty proud of it.
The fastest name in radio control.
Well, once again, welcome back, everybody, from all across the globe watching us on the internet, the World Wide Web. Once again, if you've got your smartphones here, take a picture. If you're home, or if you're getting pictures from people at home, hashtag TORC. Put us on Facebook. Go to Facebook and like us there. Facebook/TORC, and throw some pictures up there of all your friends, the racing here at the facility. Don't forget, you don't have to go home right after the racing tonight. Please stick around, go back in the pit area, hang out with the guys. Everything's going to come up as far as they're going to be working on these race trucks. They're getting ready for tomorrow's racing action. The vendors will still be out there, manufacturers Midway. Like Robbie had said earlier, the guys from Traxxas can answer any and all questions. They've got parts if you have a Traxxas vehicle at home of some kind. They've got all the parts here. And in fact, it looks like we got our latest winner coming out on the track of the Text to Win, a ride in a 2-seat Pro 2 coming out trackside. As looks like our Traxxas guys are cleaning up the track from all their RC stuff. And
I'm seeing Cat Freestyle going on down there. You know, Caterpillar, they're our official supplier of heavy equipment, and we got a nice design he's developing into turn 1.
You know, I just got to, you know, we've been getting messages from friends from all over the country that are watching us on the internet, and I just got a picture sent from my wife. She was in her very first company golf outing of her life.
Yeah.
And she came like 3 feet shy of getting a hole in one.
Oh, man.
Now, do I believe that?
Yeah. She told you it's the truth.
But no, what a great picture. She was at a golf outing and like 3 feet shy away from a hole in one.
Yeah,
so,
better than me.
Nice job, honey. I wish I was there to see that.
Yeah, that is a nice design. And again, just trying to break up that dirt. We saw basically that same piece of equipment or similar equipment with teeth ripping up the dirt in Primm, Nevada. I don't know you could necessarily do it with this dirt here. If you did, they could be big, massive chunks. You might be able to get the some type of disc, but that would be hard. But they're trying to do anything. We only have one more race to go, but it's the highest horsepower, most wheels turning in a single-time class that we have in TORC, the Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL.
No, I can't help but think that some of the fans here in Charlotte, if they're enjoying themselves now, I kind of think there's got to be some Harley fans out here, or some Harley people, Harley owners. For the first time ever in short course off-road racing history, TORC will be going to a brand new venue this year, the Buffalo Chip in Sturgis. And we're going to be racing there 2 nights, on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, I believe. Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe, at the Buffalo Chip, brand new facility there behind the Buffalo Chip. I guess they're calling it the Buffalo Chip Motorsports Complex. So if you happen to be in Sturgis and you're a Harley person, head to the Buffalo Chip on that Tuesday and Wednesday of Bike Week up there. And
that's a weird name. Buffalo Chip does not sound appealing. The sound of that
you're not new to that whole. You know exactly what.
No, it's craziness. It's about. Oh, did you hear the concert? Who's going to be there?
Yeah, that night.
Yeah,
after the race.
Motley Crue's one of them.
Yeah.
Motley Crue is going to be one of the bands there at Sturgis. But congratulations to Chris Ennis or don't know how you say your name, but Chris, you won the ride-along. Our ride-along winner. Buckle up and enjoy the ride tonight. Congratulations, Chris Ennis. You know who you are.
Yeah.
He just did #TORC and got to win. #TORC.
And make sure and hashtag your pictures when you throw from your ride-along on
56938. And if the ladies are out there searching through, I put something about Roush Yates because you and I went there today.
You really
and I put a picture. It might.
Did you do that?
Do you have a
For real?
sister? Do you have a sister?
Yeah.
Well, I hope she doesn't look anything like this picture because it was you with a wig on, and it was not very pretty. But ladies, if you're searching through the interweb and you see something about, I put Roush at Roush Yates as well as
that's
#TORC.
That's Jeremy Meyer.
Oh my gosh!
You notice he's not in a fire suit. We don't have one big enough, so he's just a thrill seeker.
Well,
right now
he can't be. He's sitting on the edge of the seat too because I hear
he's on the phone talking. He's hashtagging pictures right now.
It might be. He's one of the guys with AMSOIL. And I don't know his official duties, but he's the ambassador of fun because I was with him at an AMSOIL Arena Cross last year, and he did everything shy of getting on the mechanical bull, and maybe we can get him to do that up at the Buffalo Chip this year.
Yeah, I think they're the title sponsor. In fact, AMSOIL is of Bike Week. So. No, I don't believe he did.
Air date. I was wondering. NBC Sports Network is what this show will be aired on. And I see them doing some practicing. I look over to my left and I see Tess Sewell as well as Grant Langston doing the play-by-play and color commentary. Tony B down in the pits. Christy Lee. Tony B and Christy Lee down in the pits.
Between sessions of lifting weights.
Yeah, hey, you got to do what you got to do. He's drinking out of a protein shake, and you've got 2 hot dogs in you today.
Yes, I did.
The only thing that hurts you more than 1 hot dog is a second.
But it was so good going down.
Yeah, no, and I had a hamburger, and I suggest you go try them out there. I had the sirloin burger. It's very delicious, and while you're working your way around the pits.
I still want to try and get on that running lawnmower.
You will tonight. You will tonight.
You start talking about the pits. We got to get the people down there.
No, after the race, you see all the body parts that are flying around, and we alluded to it earlier. Go down there. They have a lot of takeoff parts as far as fiberglass body parts. You can get them to sign, hang it up in your room, put it in your garage, maybe get a big piece. You know, could
I've
be
seen
a side
hoods
panel.
go. I can see have complete hoods, complete doors,
roofs.
Yeah,
very seldom, but you know,
they'll sign it for you. They'll wipe a spot off of the dirt. And I always say this. You know what? When you get that body part, walk away from the driver. Go up to their crew members, the guys that are up to their elbows in grease and dirt and slime and sweat. Get their autograph and put that on there, and then go to the driver. Nothing makes a driver happier because those guys know. Everyone that's behind the wheel of these things know who the real heroes are of this sport. They're the guys that are out there already tearing apart the Pro 2s and Pro Lights, getting ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, and they're the guys that have to put the new body panel to replace the one that you have back on there. It's not going to be the driver generally, although you know, many drivers do stay up late at night and help their crew out because they know that they might need their help at any given time throughout the night. I'd like to welcome everybody here in Charlotte, and thank you for watching this shootout in Charlotte at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor, right next to Charlotte Motor Speedway, but also watching around the world on YouTube, the Motortrend channel.
Yeah, I want to throw it out too for all the troops that are watching us all across the globe. I know I do this every race weekend, and I know some guys that I know for sure are watching in. Please check in. Let us know where you're at, where you're from. If you're able to, take some pictures. Hashtag pictures of you and your buddies watching us on the internet. So that'd be great to see, and we definitely call you out if you happen to check in. So once again, thank you to all our service people all across the globe serving our country so we can do this here tonight.
Who's this coming up?
900 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. The first truck on the track for warm-up is out of Plano, Texas. That's the red and black. Number 25, that is Mark Jenkins. The second truck on the track out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Driving the number 22, Monster Energy Toyota. The screaming Johnny Greaves. The next truck out, that black and white Amsoil number 7. Hometown of El Cajon, but right now resides in Bondwell, Wisconsin, just outside of Green Bay. That is Scott Douglas. And from downtown Manhattan, New York City, driving the Realtree Outdoor Energy Drink 4-wheel parts Blaze Orange, number 11, the wild man, Adrian Cheney. Behind him, another guy comes out here in a black truck, very, very stealth, calls himself the bootlegger, the man behind the scenes of the Popcorn Sutton White Whiskey, number 5, Mark Kwame. And just a moment ago, he was out there in a Pro 2, now in a Pro 4, driving that black, number 47, the president and CEO of Traxxas, that is Mike Jenkins. And rounding out the field, out of Holland, Michigan, driving the Nitto Tires, number 10 Toyota, that is Ross Hook. These are the
bad.
Yeah, these are the bad boys. Basically unlimited. You got a big wallet, throw it in the hole that's parked right there by your Pro 4 because you're going to be spending a lot of it in one of these trucks.
Same format as we saw earlier. These guys line up, they race half the race, we'll shut it down, line them back up again the way they cross the halfway point for that competition yellow, and then we will determine our champion after the second half. The 25 on the inside, Mark Jenkins on the outside of him, Greaves, Douglas on the inside of 2, Cheney on the outside of him. Those are your front 2 rows. Looks like Greaves trying to get to that outside a little bit. Oh, and a good jump. Perfect jump by Mark Jenkins. See if he can take that outside line away from him. Oh, Greaves squares it up.
Through turn 1. Scott Douglas down to the inside.
Look at Greaves trying to get on the inside. There's nose to tail. Greaves going to have the inside position. How hard does Jenkins run it in?
Whoa, Jenkins backs it way in.
That hard. Oh, they crossed over.
Greaves took away the line. Jenkins had nowhere to go. He'll go to the outside.
Now that rut's been worked over, but it Greaves maybe rotates a little bit. Look at how tight that 4-wheel drive is able to go on the inside. The Traxxas 25.
That's Mark Jenkins.
Yeah, Mark really got a lot of grip on that inside, but not much grip to be had in that last turn.
Now this is where I thought that 5-speed sequential transmission might help Greaves.
Well, you're saying he's running 5-speed sequential. What are the other guys using instead?
3-speed automatic, mostly. I'm not exactly sure. Douglas bounces around back and forth, so I'm not sure exactly what the rest are running.
Watch Adrian Cheney back and forth. There's the guy to watch. He goes to the inside, not able to get the drive, trying to get by Scott Douglas in the 7. Cheney looks fast at times. He lost a little bit of ground on that lap in the first left-hand tight turn.
Mark Jenkins has got probably rear shock issues.
Tag!
Just a touch. In the right front and left rear of Johnny Greaves and Mark Jenkins, but Jenkins is getting the back of his truck kicked up way in the air through the infield rhythm section. Is right now 1st through 5th are backed up, gapped up pretty decent between Johnny Greaves, Mark Jenkins, Scott Douglas, Adrian Cheney, and Mike Jenkins.
Well, Mark Jenkins got in a little bit too hard into that last turn, got into Johnny Greaves. We'll see if he does it again here. They make the 1 right-hand turn. That's turn 3 of our 4-turn track, very much like an arena cross track. You see
2 different lines to that infield, and Douglas made up a lot of ground on Jenkins that time around.
And Jenkins going way wide. Douglas taking the inside as they come down the front straightaway one more time. Cheney dropping back a little bit that last lap. Looks like Mike Jenkins maybe closing in on 4th place, trying to catch up to Cheney.
Johnny Greaves shedding that left rear fender. No harm, no foul. That thing is gone. Probably a good thing for him right now.
And remember, it was Greaves and Cheney, the points leaders coming into this round, both taking main event wins and seconds. And it's Greaves out in front of this one,
Yeah,
the first half.
Look at how Mark Jenkins, the back of that truck, keeps getting kicked up way in the air with the infield as he just glances off the outside wall in turn 4 coming out of the front stretch.
Yeah, it looks like most of those jumps, maybe a little bit too much rebound or something in that rear end kicking him up.
I don't know if you saw a little puff of smoke coming out of Scott Douglas right at that green light in turn 1 of the oval.
I saw Cheney close again. Cheney now on him for third. You see right back behind there, that orange truck trying to get on the inside.
I love how Douglas backs into that corner so early.
You see 1, 2, there's 3 and 4 on the video board. Watch the orange truck. He's trying to take those inside lines, just trying to find some traction where maybe there is none.
And again, Jenkins goes way out to the wall, trying to find any kind of traction. Johnny Greaves goes about midline through turn 1 and 2 of the oval. Jenkins goes a little higher. Douglas again, more smoke this time by.
But it's only in that first turn, so there's something, some characteristic, maybe a leak, something like that, that's throwing a little oil on the exhaust.
It's really strange where it's a little, it looked like there's a little bit in that spot right there, but still.
I mean, it's not like we don't have a left-hand turn, but
Here
that's the
comes
fastest
Cheney
one.
trying the inside on Douglas.
Oh, and Douglas is rotating a little bit. Cheney on the inside. That was the closest he's been for a while back in third. Watch the orange machine. That's the series points leader, tied with Greaves. Now he squares it up. He's going to get another decent run down this front straightaway. Watch the white truck. Number 7, Scott Douglas. Watch for this white puff of smoke right here. Does it do it again right here? Yes.
Not as heavy, but yeah, it was there, no doubt. It's you know, it's often been said in this sport, as long as the truck is smoking is okay. It's when the smoke stops that you have to start worrying. I'm kind of watching Greaves right now. He doesn't appear to be as fast as he was maybe 2 laps ago. I think he may be going just as fast as he needs to maintain the lead, not trying to pull a gap on it, because that's a guy that plays at halfway flag. Oh man, he had an issue coming out of the corner. Looked like he may have stalled just for a split second.
I talked about Cheney trying to get by the 7 of Douglas, but look at the 47. Mike Jenkins starting to stick his nose in this picture, back in 5th. So there you see Greaves, a fair amount of lead. There's that race for 4th and 5th is the 47 of Mike Jenkins. If he can just pluck off one more driver, it's going to move him up 1 row more and set him up to the outside. Or actually, we don't. We go single file on the restart. You know, I keep doing that in my head.
It's too bad you haven't been around the last couple of years, because we see there's a battle starting to form between 2 very, very strong rivals. And that's Mark Jenkins and Scott Douglas. They have had issues all season long, the last 2, maybe 3 years. Not afraid to lean on each other. And this racetrack 2 years ago was the epitome of the rivalry between those two.
I think Douglas tried a more middle-of-the-road approach that time when you saw Mark Jenkins, on the outside and got much more grip. And again, back 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, really tight again.
Now remember at Prem a few weeks ago, Douglas was dead last in the first half of the race. Like, I thought he was playing possum. I thought maybe he had some sort of mechanical issues, but then he came back and ran crazy strong, ended up on the podium in the second half, as there's the competition yellow as Greaves crosses the line. Mark Jenkins, Scott Douglas, Adrian Cheney, Mike Jenkins, Mark Kwame, and Ross Hook.
And that's halfway point. We'll be back right after this.
We had these torrential downpours, and these trucks are not designed to have another 2,000 pounds of mud put on them. And then you pack the radiators tight. The tranny gauge, the water gauge, the oil gauge, everything's pegged. The AMSL product came through for us and kept the rear end, the transmission, and the engine all running fine. And I tell you what, we were ready to go for the next day and pretty proud of it.
fastest name in radio control.
Well, we're back right now, still under competition yellow. We'll be getting the 1 signal this time by, I believe, with Johnny Grease up front. And I can't help but think, Robbie, that the last 2 laps or so prior to the competition yellow, that Grease, again, was only going just as fast as he needed to go to maintain that spot.
Yeah, first by a foot or first by a mile made no difference because he knew the competition yellow was coming out. But it was very stacked first through 4th. So I don't know. Was everybody kind of holding back a little bit in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th spot? I have no idea. I saw Mike Jenkins coming on strong. He's in 4th, and he really made up a lot of ground there towards the end. So he's trying to get in that podium position. Adrian Cheney's back, what, in 3rd? He hasn't finished other than 1st or 2nd this year with both the 1st and a 2nd. The same.
And he's tied in points.
Same with Johnny Grease,
yeah.
right? So he needs to move up. To kind of, if he doesn't win, to keep pace.
Here's the thing I think we're going to see. We're going to see our top 4 guys going to try to win the race in the first lap after competition yellow. They're going to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. There ain't 4 bigger egos out there with a helmet on when it comes to race time than those guys right there. And they're going to want that top spot, and they're going to want it right away, and they're going to want to try and run away with the second half of this race.
I think you're right. All right, you see them taking that outside line. The pace truck will pull off. And you see the 2 orange cones. That's the acceleration zone. Let's find out what Johnny decides to do. And does he guard that inside or not?
Here we go, Charlotte. This is the last race tonight, the second half of Pro 4. Here we go! Nice jump for Jenkins. Stayed right in the back bumper of Grease. He goes inside of Grease. Grease got the preferred spot. He'll maintain the speed.
Look at the drive.
Whoa! Multi-line. Oh, Grease took the line away. Grease took Jenkins' line away and actually blocked the track, and a slight tap in that back bumper from Mark Jenkins.
Look at him side by side. Look how hard he stayed into it. Jenkins on the outside. I bet you he's going to try and dive to the inside, close in. This is exactly what you thought. Look at Cheney on the inside. Takes over 3rd for the time being. Douglas drops back to 4th. Make that 3rd again. Here goes Douglas.
Door handle to door handle. Douglas goes inside. Cheney on the outside. Cheney's coming back into turn 1.
Cheney on the orange, number 11 on that far side. He's got the cushion. Watch him down that back straightaway, just rocking away. Or will he?
Cheney had a push coming out of that corner instead of going down the straightaway. He actually had those tires turned to the left. Now he's going to try ducking inside of Douglas. Meanwhile, Greaves is still holding off Mark Jenkins.
Mike Jenkins back in 5th. He dives inside of Cheney and almost taking over 3rd, but he's trying to get Cheney first. Before you can get to 3rd, you got to get by 4th, and it looks like the 47 has done so. Mike Jenkins into 4th position.
Now we got to keep an eye on that corner right there, cutting back on the front straightaway. Do not over-rotate. Everyone gets through cleanly into turn 1. Greaves has pulled away to about 4 car lengths now over Mark Jenkins.
So Cheney's dropped back to 5th. We're looking at that battle for 4th and 5th. Cheney was pushing to move into 2nd just about 2 laps ago, and he's back in 5th spot now.
And right now, I think, obviously, the guys are looking for traction. They're losing it. They can't find it. Here comes Douglas inside of Jenkins. He forces the issue. They ride the door handles all the way through the corner, and now Douglas is taking the line away, and there's contact. Back bumper to front bumper from Mark Jenkins.
Look at this.
Look out up into the wall.
I thought we were watching a sprint race.
I'm telling you, those two have a history, and it started at this track 2 years ago.
It looked like a wing sprint car, and now trying to dive to the inside. Not able to make it is Scott Douglas.
And Douglas is not done. Looking away, backs into that corner.
So now you have the 25 of Mark Jenkins in 2nd. He tries taking that inside away. Oh, on 2 wheels and holds it there.
Douglas saves it to the corner. Will lose a big gap back to 3rd.
And don't open the door for the 47. He's been the one moving up. And there he goes to the inside. Mike Jenkins tries getting a nose in. Going to take him all the way wide. Takes over 3rd. He's in a podium position. I told you he looked strong in that first half.
Oh, we had a pass for the lead. Well, that was going on. Mark Jenkins got around Johnny Greaves. I'm telling you right now, Greaves has got problems. Now watch this time by.
He was
the
low.
Infield rhythm section. Johnny Greaves is not as fast through the rhythm section in the infield as the rest of the trucks. From this point on, Greaves right here. is slow going through the straightaway.
Now, I thought Greaves was on the very bottom. Oh, look at that. Contact again. You think he's slow. He was slow enough to take the lead. And now what's he going to do? Does he shut the door?
This is a replay. This is exactly what happened
and now by
2
Jenkins.
years ago. This is exactly what happened 2 years ago with Ricky Johnson and Johnny Greaves.
Did those guys make the turn? Did they go underneath the turn? I don't know that they made that last turn. I think they went underneath it.
They went
both
inside.
missed.
They went inside the tire marker. That last tire marker, they both went inside. Greaves now inside of Jenkins.
Mark Jenkins was swapped out on that back straight. Look at this race for first, or is it? Is the guy in third in the lead because they cut the course?
I still do not see our flag man grabbing for that black flag. And Mark Kwame now having problems.
Greaves has got tattered. There's some autograph material. You said he didn't look good earlier in the middle. He is fast now in that very inside portion of the course. Something happened. He found a new line because he got it done in the right-hander that time.
Wow, as he pulled away about 10, maybe 12 truck lengths now over Mark Jenkins. Mike Jenkins still running in third, Adrian Cheney fourth, and Douglas is slowing. Right rear flat tire on Scott Douglas.
Oh, and he was running so fast, too. I'm still curious, though, as we see this, we're in the back half of this race. Are Jenkins and Greaves still out in front, or is it Mike Jenkins back in third? If they went underneath that tire, it's up to the officials, right?
Still no what black flag in the hand of our flag man.
Maybe they make that decision after. I don't know.
It had to be a racing call. I think it's going to be called just a racing incident. They didn't gain on each other. They didn't gain on the competition. So it's Johnny Greaves up front, about 10, maybe 12, over Mark Jenkins. Mike Jenkins in third. Adrian Cheney back in that fourth spot. And
there's Mike Jenkins.
Mike Jenkins trying that inside line.
Now, does he shut the door here?
Yep, it looks like he may have got it right there. Oh, love tap, brother to brother, right there.
Keeping it in the family. He's fast.
There's
Mike
the
Jenkins
white flag.
Looks much stronger this weekend than he did as we're on the last lap of this race. The pro four-wheel drives. Mike Jenkins in second. Mark in third. Cheney in fourth with half a lap, about 3/4 of a lap remaining. Whoa, Cheney.
Look at the way he backs it in. That's the wild man, baby. That's the wild man. And Mark Jenkins got back around Mike Jenkins with 2 corners remaining.
There's that four-wheel drive taking advantage, and now Mike back into second. Greaves is going to win this thing. Mike's got the inside. Watch Mark. What does he do? Whoa, he's on 2 wheels.
He swaps it. Cheney goes inside. Greaves will take the win. Mike Jenkins second. And third will go to Mark Jenkins. Adrian Cheney a close fourth. Scott Douglas back around the track will complete the race. And here comes Ross Hook. And I think my buddy here, Robbie's had a heart attack.
Yeah, I need a blood pressure monitor right now, sphygmomanometer. I want to remind everybody this is our last race, but the pits are open for the fans. Go get their autographs. We're going to hear from them in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll remind everybody, the pits and the midway portion, if you just keep going around the track past that first turn, it is open. Go get the rider's autograph. They love signing autographs after the race and maybe get some of the parts that you saw flying around the track tonight.
There's going to be a whole lot of autograph material coming off that Monster Energy Toyota. I guarantee you that.
We wonder, did Johnny Greaves win this race? We saw 1 and 2 go to the inside. Let's take a look at it as this last left-hand turn.
That's exactly what happened 2 years ago.
Now, the turn is over there, farther, well.
Yeah, no, that's the inside tire. You can see the tracks in the dirt yet even. Yeah, see on the outside, that big tire, that's what they cut inside.
Both guys cut that inside. Now is it?
But they didn't gain on the other competitors?
Well, they didn't lose, that's for sure. They didn't lose position. I'm saying it's up to the officials. Both of those guys are inside the barrier. They didn't gain because there is nobody in front of first, right?
Exactly.
But I mean, it's up to the officials. I thought that was one heck of a race. Neither guy backing down. But what are they supposed to do? Loop around just to make sure? Or do they stay in it and come back in the safest point? And that was the safest point. Yeah, so that was the safest point of re-entry, and that looks to be the call.
Yeah,
Johnny, what a run.
I'm anxious to see what that top of that roll cage. I mean, I can't tell you. That's exactly what happened 2 years ago between Johnny Greaves and Ricky Johnson. And to see the ending of that, take it easy, Kathy. He's okay. There's nothing happening.
She said, yeah,
Kathy
but he
wants up in
rotated
the
like
booth.
this, and then I don't know.
She goes, I hate Charlotte. I hate what this place does to my truck. I hate what this does to my
Remember, hashtag TORC. If you got a great picture, hashtag TORC. Taylor's down there with our winner. Taylor, take it away.
Johnny Greaves taking the win in the Pro 4-wheel drive class. Johnny, that had to be one of the most eventful races out here that you've had. Just talk a little bit about that, all the action going on with Mark Jenkins out there. How was it?
Surprising. You know, I just was trying to get real smooth and get my lines down, and you know, CJ kept telling me he's just dive bombing the inside real hard, so just give him room if he comes flying in there or try to protect it. And he got in there a couple times, and then it was game on. Holy man, it reminded me of the old Ricky Johnson days. I got front tires landing inside my windows and trucks rolling down my roof, and finally I just said I need to get out of here. So. You know, I just got to thank everybody, my crew, Monster Energy, Toyota, Maxxis, Method, Magnaflow, Fox Shocks, AMSOIL, you know, and the guys at TRD are out here today just babysitting this motor, and it sings like a bird. I just love screaming this thing for these fans. So I hope they had a lot of fun. That was pretty exciting from where I was sitting too.
All right, well, we'll talk to you again in just a little bit, but fans, give it up for your number one finisher, Johnny Greaves.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how he brought in RJ into the subject. So, is MJ the new RJ?
Yeah, I don't know about that, because that was a little different situation. I mean, there was some aggressive driving going on, and in the prior race. I think this was a racing incident. I think both guys will walk up to each other, give you a high five. In fact, you can see Mike Jenkins walking up to Johnny right now as all three of our drivers are working right to the podium. And so, and there's Mark Jenkins throwing water down the back of Mike Jenkins. Here's a recap of the last race.
Remember, Mark Jenkins started.
Jenkins, yeah.
He had the pole. He started out in front, but he wasn't there very long because Mr. Greaves said, hello, I'm coming through quickly.
Here's a restart at the halfway point. And again, even with that TRD motor just screaming, Jenkins stayed right with him.
He had a pretty good jump on there, the 2.5 did, of Mark Jenkins. Look at him here. That's as close as you can get, boys and girls, heading into that second left-hand turn.
And I'm telling you right now, when they turn those wheels, they don't lift. They just turn and hope like heck they hook up, and more times than not they do. And that's how these guys drive these things. You just point it and it goes.
Scott Douglas was in the picture back there in third. Look at him on the inside here of the 25. Takes over second. But then
I just wonder where Scott Douglas's right rear went down, or what the cause of it. He was backing into the corner, up on two wheels. Joey Chitwood right there. Saves it, loses a little bit, but maintains the spot in third. Here's the moment right here. Define the race.
Mark landed on the roof there. Both them missing that first of the two, but I don't know what they do. Do they loop around? Do they not? The 25 takes over the lead for a short while, but Johnny Greaves takes his second victory of the season. There's your new points leader all alone now, because Cheney dropped back, in fourth spot. So let's go back down to our podium. We heard from Johnny. Let's hear from the others on the top steps.
All right, well, once again, what an eventful race that was out there. And I'm going to start here with our third place finisher, Mark Jenkins. Mark, there's a lot to talk about, but I'm just going to let you do it.
Well, you give me that mic, Taylor, and I'll be up here for a while. It's been a long off season, and we had a horrible start to the race at Prim. 2 DNFs, there's no way to start after running quick and trying to chase this fast guy to my right. But, you know, I got to think first and foremost, like I said, it's been a long off season. I got a new addition to my family, Jack River Jenkins, an eight-wheeled son, and my beautiful wife, Lucia. They put up with a lot of crap with me dreaming and working. And Traxxas, Gentech water treatment, AMSOIL, Cooper tires, Fox Shocks, Impact Mastercraft Racing. You know, just badass group of people to be associated with. It's an honor and privilege to be up here with these fine gentlemen as well. Thank you.
Well, that wasn't very great. I want to know why were you out there? You were turning into Adrian Cheney Wildman. I mean, you're rivaling for his title right now.
I don't think I flipped anyone, so I don't know that I can take that title yet.
Okay, fair game. Well, I think that you and Johnny definitely have a lot more to figure out on the track tomorrow.
He's a true competitor. I look forward to mixing it up with him tomorrow.
All right, we'll give it up for Mark Jenkins, your third place finisher. And moving on over to his brother, Mike Jenkins. Mike, you lucked out right here. It was a tough race. You just stuck it out and didn't let anybody give up because, of course, anything can happen at the last minute and end up here in second. Congratulations.
Thanks, Taylor. I tell you, I got to give a shout out to John Mark. Set up with some new suspension this year, and I understand how to use the little gold valve and make adjustments, and actually feel like I'm a larger part of the team side of the team this year. But let me tell you, racing with my brother out here is the best thing that I can do, and end up out here the way we did. Maybe we just bumped Johnny off that top notch. It might be a little better, but I tell you what, it's pretty damn good where I stand. But you know, as I look out and think about what we just ran through out there, when you're chasing these guys down, you know, they're rabbits and they're fast. And when you get around them, it's like having Dobermans behind you nipping at your ass. Anyhow, it was a great time out there. I hope we put on a good show. Everybody enjoy that?
They all went home.
They all went home. I hope they enjoyed it before they left.
All right, well, congratulations again, Mike Jenkins. We look forward to seeing you back up here again tomorrow.
Thank you, Taylor.
All right, moving on to our top place finisher, Johnny Greaves. Johnny, I meant to talk to you earlier, coming from Prim with that rollover and coming all the way back up to the top of the podium in the second place position. Coming in here with so much effort and so much power, and of course with your son CJ making the podium today, it's got to be a really, really nice race for you.
Well, the problem is every time he podiums or wins, I feel like I gotta do one better because I can't let him steal the thunder this early in his career. But you know, it was a great race. You know, everybody pushed real hard that whole race, and nobody ever gave an inch. And you know, we had some exciting trading back and forth there, and I'm glad we survived. You know, that's one tough Toyota, and you know, these two guys are always a handful to race with, and they're up here one more time. I think we're going to see them a lot more this year. So just want to.
And you are now the Pro 4 points champion, so of course everyone's going to be. You're the target now. Everyone's coming after you.
Yeah, as it should be, you know. The champion's always the target, and you know, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes it's fun to be, like Mike says, chasing the rabbit than being the rabbit, but hey, we'll take it.
Anyone else you like to thank?
Yeah, for sure. All the crew, they work so hard, and of course all the sponsors, you know, USAC and TORC for putting on this race. This is a cool event. I hope we can keep coming back here and keep pulling more people, and obviously, you know, Monster, Maxxis tires work great today. The Toyota engine, Method wheels, MagnaFlow, Fox shocks, AMSOIL is awesome. Everybody on this team does a great job.
All right, well, these guys definitely put on a show for you to round out the night. So let's give it up for all of your Pro 4 podium finishers, Mark Jenkins, Mike Jenkins, and your current Pro 4 points leader, Johnny Greaves.
Nervous there.
He
said it was like some biting you in the donkey. He got confused on the words. It's like a.
Well, there's two guys right there that know how to have fun. Well, I'm not going to count out Johnny Greaves either. That's for sure. But,
no, I was with him at Prim. He knows how to have fun.
But it's nice to see Johnny running up front again. I mean, he's had a pretty rough couple seasons, mechanical issues. But man, nobody works harder. I mean, through the off season, it has to. I mean, how many race teams in off-road racing, you know, have to shovel their way into their shop almost on a daily basis this last winter to get to their trucks to work on them for their summer series?
Right. They probably still have snow melt going on right now.
Oh, you're gonna like it. I heard that there was snow at Bark River yesterday.
I would not. I would not doubt it, and we'll be there this year as well. But Johnny got it done, representing Maxxis. Maxxis tires there, his impact driving suit as they're taking a look in there, and he said that Toyota, it was whining, and it definitely kept him out in front. That motor was fast all night. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Remind everybody they do sign autographs out in the pits. Everyone's invited to the pits right now. We're going to step back in just a moment. We'll recap what happened in tonight's race here in Charlotte. Maybe we won't step away. the recap. We started off the night with pro lights, Johnson on the outside, but the 7 able to get the pass when you're going the wrong way.
As much as I'm impressed with Luke Johnson staying on it, I'm more impressed with Keegan Kincaid doing that little chicane move to avoid contact. Here's the restart with Doug Matag up front, Brad Lovell on second, and Brooks battling for his spot.
There's some contact. A massive bug run across
Whoa, that thing was. And here's the end of the night for Keegan Kincaid.
Morris gets rolled over,
but keeps on going.
And
his day's done.
Not the case for Kincaid.
There's our winner, Doug Matag.
A 20-year-old, a 16-year-old on the podium.
Here's the start of Pro 2. I was really hoping we see something out of Jarrett Johnson. Damn, I wanted to see it happen.
But his first lap, look at him right there in the middle, rotates a little too much left, then right, then he does the donut. Almost collects another driver in the process. Ari Leindyke Jr. worked his way up through the field.
I think that's the story of the night right there. Made contact with Nick Tyree coming out of the corner. Tyree had the issues. But it was CJ Greaves just looking so smooth once again. The kid is so young and drives beyond these years of experience. Battling cleanly. Now look at this. All those trucks, both those trucks had all their fenders on.
And that was at the halfway point. That was as close as Chad Horde would get. Ari Leindyke couldn't get his window net up. He did at the last second, and he got into a battle for fourth position himself with the number 2 of Steve Barlow going at it until Barlow rotates and continues to rotate right here. I don't know how he kept it out of the wall. Look at that. That saved some parts right there.
Yeah, he just over-rotated and then corrected at the last inopportune moment right at the takeoff of the jump, was sending him up into the wall. Incidentally, he was at Roush Yates earlier this week picking up some parts. So,
well, he saved a few $100s right then. But CJ takes his second win of the year in the Pro 2-wheel drive category. Chad Horde in second. Green flag for the Pro 4s. There's Johnny Greaves on the inside, but the 25 on the outside. Not able to make the pass there.
Yeah, that was the typical slide job. I mean, absolutely cut to perfection within inches. And just little love taps here and there. Mark Jenkins just bam, 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 just slight taps. Just enough to, hey, Johnny, I'm still here. And that, if Johnny didn't know, he knows right now, right there.
So now Mark's set up on the outside. He tries closing the door, but look at how tight first, second, third, and fourth. Adrian Cheney's sticking a nose in there, but look at this.
Yeah, this is the big one right here.
Over-rotated, hopping up on the roof for a moment. Mark Jenkins, both as well as Greaves, going to the inside of that last turn. And Mark Jenkins was out in front, albeit for a short while, because it was the Green Machine, that monster Toyota, taking the victory in Pro 4, his second win of the year, and he's now the points leader in Pro 4-wheel drive all by his lonesome.
What a little squirrely expression right there, like a Chessy cat caught, like he got away with something right there, you know?
Oh my God.
I told you they knew how to good time.
Yeah, we know.
How about that? Oh, JBR, the boys are having a good one right there. Well, it looks like we still got a day's worth of racing coming tomorrow. They're having a little bit of fun now, finishing second and third in the podium. There's Kincaid right now out there having fun with them as well. Don't forget, we'll be next round of round 5 and 6 will be at Bark River, Michigan, June 14th and 15th. One of the premier racetracks in the country. Natural terrain in the north woods of northern Michigan. And that's our next stop, which will be a good time. Never been there before. I mean, I know you haven't.
Yeah, no.
So it's going to be fun taking you around and introducing you to the natives of the Northwoods.
Yeah. I don't know where they get the short as far as the small course size is definitely not those more outdoor type venues. That's our next stop, the next one we travel to. Our next round is actually tomorrow right here, because this is the Husqvarna Showdown in Charlotte. And Bark River's our next stop, but we still have a ton of racing tomorrow. We need everyone to come out in full force tomorrow. You saw how fun it is. If it's good on night number one, they know they don't have to save the equipment for night number 2. On night number 2, it's throw it all out there.
Well, Robbie, you'll be hashtagging a picture of me on top of that thing tonight if I can sneak out there and see if it'll handle my big butt. There's the skylights of Charlotte, North Carolina. The night is done. We had a great time. I hope you did as well. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Do it all over again. Robbie and Taylor trackside. My name is Scott. rain. I'll be back again tomorrow. Once again, this has been round 3 Husqvarna Showdown here in Charlotte at the Dirt Track. 2014 TORC Series. The Off-Road Championship presented by AMSOIL. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll see you then. I was waiting for you to throw
The checkered flag is waving. Reed will take the win.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.